hell for brother man. In every nation in the Caribbean, we suffering down in the Caribbean. And it's all because of stinking oppression, repressive education for a chosen few. So many brothers on the corner, cause no school to go, no work to do, crying sin kids, they crying this in Antigua, in Dominica, oppressors, leave we alone. Oppressors, come off the bone.
Get alive, shut alive.
Colonialism went, oh that I know. But oppression never ever let we go. They granted independence few by few, but oppressors never ever left them to. With his imperialistic game plan, he monopolized the land. Now the people of the Caribbean ain't got much food, ain't got much land. He crying Bimsha, Erie back in Grenada, in Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, oppressors, leave we alone. Oppressors, come off the bone.
Get alive, shut alive.
The thing that hurt me most about oppression is the involvement of we politicians. You both, brother, to help fight oppression. Brother, get in there and join the bandwagon. You oppose the ruling party, you become an enemy, and you could swear to Jah Almighty. That's your destiny, your destiny. They crying NASA in Bermuda, in Aruba, Martinique, St. Lucia. Oppressors, leave we alone. Oppressors, come off the bone. Oppressors, leave we alone. Oppressors, come off the bone. Oppressors, leave we alone. Oppressors, come off we bone. Leave we alone. Come off we bone. Right. Oppressors. 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 Oppressors.
Yes, that's a serious track there by the man himself, the man Beckett. It's called Oppression. Oppression is taking us by storm around the world and most of in the region of our Caribbean islands. Over there in Queen City, Nevis, the oppression continues with Baby Brantley not being honest with the folks there. I'm DJ Mauricio, and I'm coming to you live and direct from the Gaza here in the Boogie Down Bronx. It's a lovely Wednesday afternoon here in the Bronx. Temperature is up, but the weather is kind of chilly out there. But we're going to be hanging there. We're going to be doing this stuff this evening. Going to come to you with enough information this evening. A lot to discuss and keep you up to speed. You know, like I always say, some of those folks want us to lie to you about the happening in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. But that we are not going to do, because guess what? We have a government that is working for you at the moment, and they're doing the best that they can. And definitely we will bring you the good news when there's good news, and there's anything that we need to hold the government foot to the fire, and we definitely will. But in the meantime and between time, we just have to big up and thank the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Drew, for being accessible to the people and try to keep us up to date as much as possible. We look forward to that every opportunity that we get. And I know that he means well for the Federation, and that is why he will continue to get my support, because he's accessible. It's not every politician out there that is accessible. You know, some of them, once they get into office, they forget how they got there, and they forget that they need to stay in touch with the people. But at the end of the day, we're going to be here working with you. And I am going to do what I can to keep the flames burning here. So let me drop another track and I'll get back right to you here. This one is called Capitalism Gone Mad. It's a lovely track.
To be a millionaire or some kind of petty bourgeoisie anytime you're living here in this country. You got to be in skullduggery, making you money illicitly to live like somebody in this country. It's outrageous and insane, them crazy prices in Port of Spain, and like the merchants going out their brain, and the working man like the only toiling in vain. Where you ever hear a television for 7,000, $250,000 for little piece of land, a pair of sneakers, $200, 80,000-90,000 for motor cars. At last, here in Trinidad, we see capitalism gone mad. It's sad and getting more bad, because do capitalism gone mad. Provide for your family today on your present salary is an impossibility in this country. So many bills to pay, there is no conceivable way to save for a rainy day in this country. Avariciousness, to be precise, is why every damn thing so overpriced. Big business making for the field. Government give them a open license to steal. Would you believe me? One nylon panty is $19.90. $20 for some baby milk. The cheapest jersey costs over 60. 200 and change a yard for silk. It's hard here in Trinidad. Lord have mercy, capitalism gone mad. It's sad, things getting more bad. Oh Lord, capitalism gone mad.
This is Caribbean Vibes.
To buy a pack of cigarette, just leave you with a hole in your wallet, and money is so hard to get. In this country, necessity or luxuries, it doesn't matter what the item is, they're charging anything they please. In this country, primary school books price is lewd, is highway robbery, the price of food. All hopes and dreams elude the poor man, but politicians still expect good work attitude. Just imagine this, the cheapest coffee, over 3,000, not even dying today easy. Thousands of dollars for the undertaker, so you could get a spot in the cemetery. It hard here in Trinidad. Oh Lord, capitalism gone mad. The gladness that once we had is gone because capitalism gone mad. You got to have heavy contact, know how to move up in society to make any kind of impact. In this country, you got to know how to chip the feel, how to scheme and swindle properly, perfect the art of wheel and deal. In this country, I say survival in this land isn't easy for no man. With unemployment and high inflation, somehow we go dead before the end of this recession. Where the hell is this? Some mango chuli costing $3.50, $40 for one watermelon. Half your salary for fish, meat and poultry. Time you buy greens, all your money done. It's hard here in Trinidad. Lord have mercy, capitalism gone mad. It's sad and getting more hard. Put on, Lord, capitalism gone mad.
Yes, out of the mighty sparrow there. It's a capitalism gone mad. A lot of mad things happening in the world, you know, a lot of bad things happening in the world, but at the end of the day, they want us to stifle our conscience and don't speak about the things, eh? But I am more concerned about what's taking place in our beloved Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. I love that place too bad, eh? Let me say good evening to some lovely folks. How about Ruby Walters? How are you doing? Good evening. Everything good with you, Clayton Davis? Boo and Evelyn there in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, how are you doing? Visha Stapleton, how are you doing? Diane Morton, everything good with you? Gigi Williams Stapleton, how are you doing? Loretta Clark Queeley, how are you doing? Delicious Nicholas Brown. How about Sylvester Pemberton? You guys all right? Also want to big up Nicholas Brown there. Dibasu, are you on the door? Ingrid Daniel, Parnell, Ingrid, Jean, JT Taylor, how are you doing? Evan Jeffers, Chef Jeffers Lewis, how are you doing? The man I've W. Henry, everything good? I would hope all is well with you. I hope that you survived the Memorial Weekend there. I know you had big things happening in the cricketing world there in the Atlanta area, along with the carnival festivities and stuff. I understand there are some serious festivities in St. Kitts as well. The Whitmonday weekend, Green Valley Festival, and many other things. So folks, I just, I have you start with the thing already. You know, this evening, I have to be at my best behavior, you know. I cannot carry on the way that I want me to carry on, you know. Very shortly, about the top of the hour, 7:15, I should be joined by our esteemed Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Jew. So I do not want to start you all, I don't want you all to start me down that road so that when the Prime Minister come, I have to bring down the temperature. So just let's just deal with the things nice this evening. Let all of the naysayers out there, the folks who want to spread propaganda and whatever, let them enjoy themselves. Let's have a lovely evening. Let's hear what our Prime Minister have to say to us, the updates that is taking place in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. You know, the fake news out there doing their thing, you know, so let's just keep it positive and make sure that we take in what the Prime Minister is telling us. Any questions that you want to ask the Prime Minister, feel free to drop it in the chat. You know, we'll ask as much as we can. And our Prime Minister, one thing about him, if he cannot answer the questions all at once, he normally message me and give me updates and let me know what's going on and stuff like that. This is why I can be so cool and telling you the online viewership that take it easy, things are being done, things are coming and whatever. The amount of damage that was done in 7 years is totally impossible to resolve all of those issues in 9 months and continue to have the country running. So you all heard the Prime Minister say he had to stop the bleed. You all know what stop the bleed means. You know, someone get injured, blood is pouring all over the place. You have to, what do I say, perform a tracheotomy so that you could stop the blood from pouring before they start stitching up and the healing and everything take place. So the Prime Minister and his team, the new Labour administration, give them some time. You know, the fake news machine, I appreciate them because guess what? If you don't have some opposition out there, they will think everything is okay and they're not going to pay attention to what they're doing. So I don't have a problem with the fake news coming with the nonsense because we know how to debunk them. And you know, when they come, we stop them in the tracks. You know, so if you want to talk the things, let's stop the things as they are. If you see things need to be done that is not being done, bring them to the forefront. We'll present them to the Prime Minister and his team, and we give them time to resolve this issue. Not like over there in Nevis where we're getting lies after lies after lies from David Brantley. Because I was looking at a press conference there, somebody told me to look at it yesterday. And I got to say it in my farmer Park voice. That was not no press conference. When you have press conferences, you come with information, you come ready to deliver. And all we're getting is all kind of nonsense. And it seems as though these journalists that go to these meetings, is either that they're not prepared, they are afraid to ask the hard questions because they know the response from these politicians, or they're just not ready for the job. Because Baby Brantley chat some nonsense there yesterday about geothermal and the way that they sent out their bidding and whatever. I mean, anybody can recall when they said they sent out the bids for the geothermal, they said that people was breaking down the door to bid. They were breaking down the door to bid. And according to him in the press conference yesterday, they only had 30 or more people applied. I think he said at some point it was in the 90s, but he said yesterday 30. And in the end, it's only about 3 or maybe 4 companies in the end that was capable of bidding on the project because they was bidding on individual parts. I'm gonna let you guys hear the clips for you yourself. You all know I have my receipts. I am just giving you a little synopsis. You know, I got the receipts, so I'm gonna hear the things. The problem I have with the whole situation with Baby Brian Plano is how the people of Nevis are so quiet and so acceptable with all of these trauma that this man is causing to the island. Because none of it makes sense. Even my baby girl just left here a while ago. And when I asked baby girl a certain question, baby girl said to me, Daddy, are you kidding me? This is a 5-year-old child. Is asking me, Daddy, are you kidding me? This is a 5-year-old child is counting from 1 past 100 going up to 200. And she giving me a run for my money. And these people are big grown men. Men and women, I must say now, because they said they got their receipts and they're still calling off the wrong number from the receipts there. So grown men and women in the NIA continue to mislead the people and continue to knock out the people in the Federation there. Let me continue saying good night to some folks here. Keisha Irish, Joan Matthews, how are we doing? Patricia, Hazel, everything good? How about my sister there, Hazel Claxton? Everything nice with you? Monica Brown, hope all is well with you as well. How about Maurice Sarah? Mauricia Sarah, how are you doing? Good evening. Hila Brown, good time to see you, boy. My boy Luther Kelly, I wonder what going on with him. I wonder if he's still long there, jam up the place, I jam up the place down there. Bernadette Tyson, everything good with you? Jocelyn Hazel, hope all is good with you. How about Sister Annette Morton? Sister Patricia Bartlett, J.D. Keynes. How about my sister there? Sister Honorable Janice Daniel Hodge, hope all is good with you. Good evening to my brother there, brother Harbo. Hope all is well there at the place. I hope that you're getting my goat water and things in place, you know. I hope all is well. So, looking forward to seeing you shortly. Don't forget to put your information in the chat there. And let the folks know what is taking place there at Nevis at Carbos. Want to big up my boy Elvin Ellie. Hope all is well, my brother. I understand you had your brother was funeral was not too long ago. Condolences to you again and the family. I hope all is well. I am definitely going to drop another track before I get into these clips, because at the end of the day, you all know, you know, man will survive. It doesn't matter what they try to do to us. Man will survive. We must survive no matter how hard they try to bring us down, because we are the real deal. I'm going to drop this one for all you folks in the Federation in St. Kitts Nevis and around the globe that is feeling down at the moment. Don't worry, everything gonna be all right. We'll be all right. Good evening to my brother there, the man called Maris. How about Sister Felicia Maris? The man Avon Brown, Patsy Brown. How about man Ralph and the crew there in the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas to be exact. My favorite cousin there, Sister Natalie Carty, how are you doing? How about Caroline Canna? We will survive, the mighty sparrow. Take this one for the man Alvan celebrating his birthday over the weekend there. They say he eat enough steak. Oh yeah.
Sublime in a cold and hostile world. We have struggled to exist in this earthly wilderness, seeking an elusive goal. Many times it seemed that we are fighting a hopeless cause, implying extinction is our lot. Because we were constantly ravaged by scourges and wars. We gripe, we quarrel, we complain, but in the end, enough, believe it or not, we will survive. No matter what the odds, man will survive. Inspired by our gods. It's a hard road we travel, but to triumph we shall. We gon' toil, we gon' struggle, cause at the end of it all, whether you big or small, Peter helping Paul, till the master call, we fight for survival. In pursuit of happiness, searching for material bliss, we have sought increasingly, giving of our very best. In this never-ending quest, we have toiled unceasingly. Disappointed by our friends and betrayed by conjugal mates, surrounded by crime of every sort. The cruel cycle never ends, and for us is the test of fate, emphasized by condemnation, penalized with retribution, but we will survive. Don't care what people say, man will survive to see yet a brighter day. It's a mountain we're climbing, some will rise, some will fall. They'll be slipping and sliding, cause at the back of it all, metaphysical, deep and spiritual, till the master call, we fight for survival.
Oh, yeah.
Modern day societies, melting pot communities, there are several rules and laws, where the poor become subservient to the rich and affluent, or they show their fangs and claws. Divided by creed and race, it ain't easy to be free. No one knows for sure if we really can ever find an equal place and live as one family. Sometimes it's hard to find solution, but nothing conquers the will of man. We will survive.
Oh, yeah.
Though times may be rough, man will survive. We know how to be tough, so let nothing divide we. All for one, one for all. Feel the power and the glory, cause at the back of it all, though we whine and ball, breaking down dance hall, till the master call, we fight for survival. Coming through the dark ages, looked upon as savages, haunted by unrighteousness, traumatized by ignorance, time and place and circumstance. We had to face all kind of prejudice, subjected to slavery, bound by economic chains, quick to hold but slow to develop, daunted by redundancy, plagued by emotional pains. Still for all we wouldn't stop, cry surrender or give it up. No, we will survive, as we have throughout the years. Man will survive through pain, sorrow and tears, to ensure presence, to walk proud, to stand tall, yet to humble in his presence, cause at the back of it all, though we whine and ball, breaking down dance hall, till the master call, we fight for survival. Why oh, the name of the game is survival.
Yes, the sounds of the mighty sparrow. The man will survive, definitely will survive. It's a hard road that we're traveling at the moment, but guess what? Who don't have to struggle in life, then they're not in this world. From the time you're born, it's a constant struggle to get there. That is why I thank the people around me for giving me the strength to survive. Sister Gwyneth Marisha, Beverly Marisha, how are you guys doing? Sister Cora Bennett, my son there, Jeffroy Marisha Jr. in the LA area. How are you doing? How is Sister Jazz? My sister Esther there in Tortola. Brother Mokesh and the kids there. Brother Jeremy, I understand that you're visiting with your mommy. That's good. I remember those days when I could have done that with my mom as well. The man Joseph. Hope all is well with you guys there in Tortola. But we're going to kick off with the first segment of the clips or the receipts from the Premier's press conference yesterday. And this one definitely takes the cake. I give this one not even a 10, not even a 0. I can't give it a number. I have to reach out to my boy Obi to number this one here because they say he's the BBB. He self-proclaimed BBB. Somebody tell me, because we're talking about geothermal. And after I heard this clip, I had to reach out to someone in Nevis to find out who is the minister, which minister or ministry does geothermal fall under? Because you're telling me that a journalist asked this gentleman about the status of geothermal. And after all the braggadocious things he went on with not too long ago, that people rushing to bid on this project, he's talking about construction of a house and the process. Why would any sensible person, and right away he's trying the NEVLEC staff under the bus, because he's quick to say, this is not him. This is the folks at NEVLEC that started off this bidding and an itemized matter, individual basis. If you want to build this, you want to build that, you want to build that. The man tell us that the drilling process is in place because the Prime Minister had signed the letter that the farmer hag did not sign. So everything is in place, is a go for the geothermal. That's what he said, He said the bidding process has started. Over 30 people, 30 companies. At one point he said 90. Now he says down to 3. I want you all to pay attention when the baby is speaking. Because this baby, my baby girl talk better than this baby, He said he's good with words. He's good with bullshitting because he think he bullshitting people, but only but so much people you can bullshit. Pastor Brown, good evening. How are you doing, Sister Brown? So I want you this evening, you scholars out there, my boy Dwyer, Sam Crandall, Larry Vaughan, Ira McMahon, the Big Lice, the man Duncan Watley, the Talk Puppy, EK, GQ, Ronnie Rascal, Monarch, Austin, the Farmer Commissioner, Julian Pemberton, Luther Kelly. I want you all to explain this to me. I want you all to explain this one for me because I need people who got more brain than me, who went college and university, to tell me if this makes sense, what Baby Brantley is talking about. Take a listen.
Ben Bart from SKN News 9. On the geothermal project, I don't know if you spoke about it, but can you just give me a quick update on what's happening and what's going to happen for the rest of the year?
Okay. The geothermal project, we had a meeting last week. I would want to think it was Monday on this with NEVLEC, which is the executing agency, and the bidding process has come to a close. I'm advised that over 30 companies expressed an interest in the project, but NEVLEC has explained that initially when they put it out to tender, they put it out in parts. Let me try to explain it this way. If we're doing this building that we're now in, rather than putting out a tender for the entire building, they put out a tender for the foundation, for the block work, for the roof, for the air conditioning, for the electrical, etc. Different pieces. And so they said they had 4 different components for the project that they put out. And therefore, the 30+ companies, some of them were specialists in only one of those areas. So for example, going back to the example I used for this building, some people showed interest, say, well, okay, we do roofs or we do AC. So they showed an interest in the AC component of it. They later changed, that is NEVLEC, and they asked for a single bid on the entire project, on the understanding that whoever the successful bidder was could then subcontract out to others for various components. And a lot of those companies therefore fell away, because even though I'm a specialist in air conditioning, doesn't mean that I know how to do foundation or the roof. So this sort of reduced the number considerably. And I'm told that at the end, 3 companies bid on the entire project. They're evaluating these bids, and we hope to have a result, I'm told, by the 30th of June. That's the date that they've given to me in terms of completing the evaluation and having a position that we could come to the public with in relation to that. We are told that they're looking at drill rigs, and that we know that some drill rigs are available. One rig that we're aware of could be available as early as December, and another available as early as January in the coming year. And so we anticipate that if there's to be drilling, which we expect, that it won't happen until towards the end of this year. Having said that, Mr. Bart, I would want the public to understand that there's some work to be done. There's some lands in the area to be acquired. There's some road works to be done to put in the road, because when the drill rig comes, it will need to be able to traverse a particular pathway to get to the site. And then those individuals who have lands in the immediate vicinity of the drilling, we're trying to acquire those lands so as to make them a part of the project, as opposed to having people having lands right next to the project. Those lands in terms of noise and drilling and all the, what comes from drilling, we feel that it will be better for those lands to be in the possession of government. And so we're trying to negotiate now with the landowners to acquire those lands in that immediate vicinity. And we're talking about the Hamilton area. So those landowners have been contacted, negotiations are ongoing with them. The third piece of that puzzle is water, because the drilling is going to require additional water. So when I spoke to water earlier, I spoke to water in the context of our water supply for our consumption, but we're also going to have to get additional water for the drilling. And so we are hoping to start drilling for water very soon to feed into that timeline as well. But when we drill, the drilling for water is going to satisfy both the geothermal project and the water needs for the people of Nevis. Bear in mind that we have invested significantly in Nevis in a massive upgrade for our storage and distribution of water. So we had a massive project. If you go around the island, you see these massive tanks, new tanks, and we have upgraded all of the infrastructure. So in Nevis now you don't get what people used to get, where you just get a low pressure, so you get a low trickle of water. That doesn't happen anymore. And wherever we're doing roads on the island, we upgrade the water infrastructure at the same time. So Bart Village, Butlers, all of those projects, we've upgraded the water infrastructure. But upgrading your distribution and storage doesn't answer the question of additional water. So we tried to answer that initially with the treatment plant at Hamilton. That has not proven enough. So we are now going to go to other wells, plus the small desal plant, which, as I said, is a pilot project.
Now, listening to Baby Brantley, blah, 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 blah. Why didn't Baby Brantley bring the technicians or the folks from NEVLEC who know what they're talking about? Let's talk about the geothermal project, so that these journalists can understand what is taking place. Baby Brantley don't have a clue. These things are not even lies anymore. These things you have to find a different name for what Baby Brantley is doing. Those things are not lies. This guy actually believes what he's saying. Lies are when you're saying stuff that you know is not true. In Baby Brantley's mind, he's telling the truth, you know. Nevis have a serious, serious problem. I do not know you all end up in this situation with a premier like that, but you all have a very serious problem. And before I get into the meat of the things, you know, that was the press conference for yesterday. That was yesterday, May 30. Well, I want all you to hear what he said on January 26, you know. I want you all to pay attention. The same geothermal project. Listen to what he said on January 26 at his press conference.
In relation to geothermal, quick update since we last were here. We, of course, would have had confirmation from the Caribbean Development Bank of funding to the tune of some $17 million US, $1 million by way of grant, out-and-out grant, and $16 million by way of a contingency recoverable grant. And all that means is that when they do the production drilling, if the drilling is successful, then that is converted to a low-interest long-term loan. If it is not successful, then the money is a grant. And so this has removed the risk of the drilling phase, and we hope to proceed very quickly. The plan is that by June we should have drillers in place, and the drilling we anticipate should last for 6 months, at which point we will issue the RFP for the plant construction. And so we've divided the project into 2 phases, the drilling phase, which is the risky part of the project, and the second phase, which will be the plant construction. If all goes well, as we have promised, we hope to have geothermal energy in Nevis in the very near future. They have sent the agreements for the funding, and those agreements have to be signed off by St. Kitts and by Nevis, the federal government, and the NIA, and we have had those agreements since late December. We are now in the process of finalizing them to get them back to the Caribbean Development Bank so that this project can move forward. I have been in discussions with Prime Minister Drew. He's very enthusiastic about this project, and we are hopeful that working together, we can deliver geothermal energy not only for the people of Nevis, but for the entire Federation.
Like I said, if you listen to the gentleman speaking, in his mind, he's telling the truth. Pure lies and poor bull. I would hope that the people in his cabinet are paying attention, you know. I would hope that Troy and Evelyn and Brandon, whoever, Sister Nisbet, I hope they're paying attention, because this guy's mental. There's a mental illness come in different forms. I am convinced that Baby Brantley has a mental issue, because nobody could be lying to people like that all the time and think nobody going to remember. I have more receipts I can play about the geothermal, you know, but I'm not even going to get into that right now, because for the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to say, well, the month of May marked the 1 year since we had that historic termination of 6 politicians. And I wanted to blast from the past in the last couple of weeks, but there's so much things that has been popping up. I have not been able to blast from the past. So this evening, I really want to bring back some highlight for the people of St. Kitts Nevis who might be out there that forget who Baby Brantley is and acting like he's this savior and he's working with the Labour administration and he is the perfect being. I want people to remember something, you know. If you don't remember anything else in your life, if you get amnesia, keep remembering that I want to thank Dwyer, Sam Kander, Douglas Watley, and anyone else who was a part of that team to get involved with the Farmer Hag and form the PLP. Hear me again. I want to thank my boy Dwyer, Sam Kander, Douglas Watley, and whoever else was involved with the Farmer Hag to form the PLP. Because we hear so much about politics and labor, this and that over the years. But we didn't really have nothing to judge against, because Pam was there. While Pam was there, I was a little kid in school. And this program, as most of you know, started on May 8th of 2020. But some people out there trying to take the digital task, saying this program is about propaganda, it's not about facts, and how I brought down PAM and I brought down Labour and I this and I that. The reality is that when PAM fell in 1995, I did not even know how to use a smartphone. I didn't even have a smartphone. I didn't know nothing about Facebook. As a matter of fact, I remember in 2015, when the farmer had came to his first meeting here that had to be forced upon them. During that meeting over at the church, him and Baby Brantley was there. And he said he don't want no Facebook, that's Fastbook, he don't know nothing about that. But I'm pretty sure you all see how he utilized the same Fastbook for his propaganda and going to church every Sunday, blocking up the street, taking photos while he commit crime all week against the people. These people should be charged with crime against humanity, you know. Every one of those party members, every one of them who was a part of the Team Unity administration should be charged with a crime against humanity. Because look what they did to the Federation. But again, I said, I want to thank Sam and Dwyer and them, because hadn't we had that 7-year experience with the Team Unity administration, which comprised of the People's Labour Party head by the Farmer Hag, the People's Action Movement led by Sean Richards, and the Concerned Citizen Movement, the CCM, led by Mark Brantley. Hadn't we had that experience for 7 years, we would not have known what Labour have done for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. The good that was done, the good that NRP did when they start working with the Labour administration to ensure that them vagabonds don't get in there, but they slip through, right? And now we see what they did. And here comes God sent a caring man in the likes of Dr. Joe. We had to fight to get him first elected to the leadership of the Labour Party. Shortly after, it was another fight for him to win the seat in number 8. I was there, I was on the ground, I was a part of the fight, so I know the deal. I'm not going by hearsay. He managed to become Prime Minister and he's trying his best to put it back together again. You all heard about Humpy Dumpy and the sat on the wall and all them story in school. Well, this ain't a Humpy Dumpy story, this is reality. Baby Brantley was a part of the destruction of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and more so Nevis. And Nevis is still in a mess, and these lies have to stop. I was at that place over there, Virchilds, where they call the lawn, where the green lawn is, when Baby Brantley make his big speech. Say he come to help launch the manifesto of CCM and PAM, because he gonna bring his 3 seats from Nevis. And he only want PAM to get 3 to form the government. I was present at that meeting. Sweeney was there standing up next to me. Dr. Simmons came over by us. I don't think Dr. Simmons realized I was standing there. He whispered something to Sweeney, which I didn't think he expected me to hear it, but I heard it. It's still in my head. That is why you know, these people don't care about St. Kitts and Nevis, the country. They don't care about the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. They care about themselves and 1 or 2 in the party. I know what I heard. And that is why I can do the things that I am doing without any reservation. That I know people like Baby Brantley, the Farmer Hag, and those folks in PAM. I believe Sean and Jonelle would have done well on their own without these other people, you know. Because remember, Jonelle said he not into the thieving thing anymore, you know. He had a taste of it. He was there for 2 years and he not like it. He not deal with the thieving no more. So I'm going to give Jonelle credit for that. But fast forward from Baby Brantley and the geothermal thing, we're going to get back to that. I want you to hear Baby Brantley in his own words, talking about his support for People's Action Movement, not the Labour Party. Labour people, listen to this clip. Listen to it well. Pay attention. Janelle Tracy, Mason, listen to this clip.
The only sheriff in town, leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement, and Premier of Nevis. Make some noise for the Honorable Mark Anthony Raham Redgrave.
Tell them we gone clear. We gone clear. When the big blue machine touch on the scene, we gone clear. We gone clear. Show me your butty finger. Show me your butty finger. Show me your.
Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, good night. I bring you greetings from Nevis and from the Concerned Citizens Movement, People's Action Movement, Concerned Citizens Movement, one movement moving people forward.
I'm moving away with me, family. With me, family.
You know, I had to be here tonight because, of course, we're here to launch our joint manifesto. And I apologize at the outset for the absence of my colleagues. What's so willful is this man called Timothy Harris. He called the election in the heart of Culturama. And I know if Eric Evelyn was here tonight, Lindsay couldn't behave so up here. Because Eric, I know, would have challenged him in terms of dancing. Poor me not able. So I sat in the back and watched them do their thing. I can't dance, but I know how to talk. And so I'm here on the microphone this evening to say that this document that will be launched this evening, this manifesto provides a blueprint for the future of St. Christopher and Nevis. And I can think of no better team than the People's Action Movement and the Concerned Citizens Movement together.
Family.
One movement. Characteristic that we need in any coalition arrangement, in any partnership, in any marriage, in any relationship is trust. And that is why I feel comfortable being here in the great constituency of number 4 this evening, because I am confident that I can trust Sean Richards. I am confident that I can trust the People's Action Movement, because they have a track record of performance in this country which is unprecedented. And that is why I am here, and that is why I've come. So not because you don't see the big blue machine with me. I want you to understand that all of them in Nevis enjoying Culturama. And I'm sure that you would have been in Nevis too, were it not for the matter at hand, which is an election on August 5th. And I have said that August 5th is Freedom Day in our country. And when August 5th comes, I want the people here in St. Kitts, the supporters of the People's Action Movement, to make sure you go out early and you get the job done. We're hearing all manner of things. We're hearing about planes coming in filled with people from far off places. I am saying, stay focused. Don't get confused. Don't allow the noise to distract you. Go in there, go out early, take your family, take your friends, take your neighbor, and make the X for the People's Action Movement here in St. Kitts. Because at the end of the day, it's not the hype, you know, it's the votes.
Somebody say that Timo used to say he have the O. And I say he could keep the O because Pam and CCM have the seats.
Damn strong. We're damn strong.
Seats that you need to form government. This morning I'm home minding my business. I get some news flash, them say they do a poll. The poll said Pam dead, CCM deader. And when I came here tonight, I said, well, this is how dead in Sinkis look. This sea of yellow that I see here tonight, me and I'll get frightened. I am saying to you, ignore the noise. They will say almost anything at this point. The People's Action Movement is strong, and the Concerned Citizens Movement is strong. And together, we will form the next government of St. Kitts and Nevis. Sean Richards and the team, I want to commend all who worked so hard to put this document together. I want you all, when you get the opportunity, they said they don't want to destroy the environment, so they'll distribute it electronically. I believe they use a different word. They say digitally. But I tell them I want to feel the paper in my hands, so they gave me a copy. But I want you to read it. I want you to look at the plans and programs covering every facet of our development. And I want you to see the visionary leadership that this team will bring to St. Kitts and Nevis. I want our young people to recognize that we're emphasizing education. We're emphasizing meaningful development. We're saying to the youngsters on the peace program that they and their program will be protected. We're saying to those on the STEP program, the POP program, that all of these are programs that we helped to design and that we brought to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. In fact, the only thing that I can think about that Timothy Harris has come up with on his own is a $2.4 billion jail. And in Nevis, they call that the Harris Family Penitentiary. And I have said that any leader in any country that prioritizes incarceration over education is a failed leader.
They won't build no schools anymore.
That prioritizes incarceration over your health care is a failed leader. And come the 5th of August, I have no doubt on Freedom Day that you will do what is necessary to ensure that we restore decency and good governance to Church Street. You know, as the man who led the foreign ministry of this country for 7 years, the man who ensured that the St. Kitts Nevis passport is the most powerful in our entire region, I feel ashamed of what has been happening in our country. When people are calling me, because yes, they still call me, who you think they call, Juicy? They call me because they recognize a real foreign minister from a fake foreign minister. So them still call me. And when they call me and I hear some of the concerns that they have, the fact that there was a Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Kigali in Rwanda, and the only country among the Commonwealth of Nations that did not vote for the Secretary General was St. Kitts and Nevis. Them not get the paperwork right. You think that could have happened under a real foreign minister? Can't happen. When I'm getting calls from important countries in our hemisphere that are saying that this administration, or what is left of it, is seeking to secretly start accepting Russians again into our CBI program, when Russia is being condemned for its invasion of Ukraine, I say they're putting our entire program and our entire country at risk. That could not happen under a proper foreign minister. Sean tell me I must talk about the foreign ministry. Sean, Lindsay get up here boast say he was the best tourism minister. Lindsay, me ain't gonna argue with you. But pound for pound, I was the best foreign minister in this country. You know how I know? You know how I know? Because for 7 years, St. Kitts and Nevis was never involved in any hint, any whiff of scandal. Not once. In fact, the closest that we came was some story about who beg, watch, and show. You see this watch? I bite. You see my blue shoes? I bite. Me never beg nobody. No watch. Me never beg nobody. No show. I don't beg people them things because my mother tell me, work for what you want. That's the closest that we came. And I said, what am I supposed to do? If a man want beg watch and beg shoe, that's his business. But the name of St. Kitts and Nevis was never once in 7 years involved in any shenanigans. Not once. And I believe that that is the mark of a good foreign minister and effective diplomacy. And that is why I don't tell the people in Nevis, I want back my work, and I'm coming back for my work on the 5th of August. Ladies and gentlemen, the Citizenship by Investment Program, that program was the brainchild of the People's Action Movement. Everything that is happening now in our country is about CBI. They tell me the first things that most children in St. Kitts Nevis say now, their first words is not daddy and mommy, it's CBI. Everything is CBI. And CBI was the brainchild of the People's Action Movement, just like Port Zante, just like the Southeast Peninsula, just like government headquarters, just like RLB. Oh my goodness, PAM did everything in this country. You all have a proud legacy, and the Citizenship by Investment Program is one of them. But let me tell you, there are some headwinds, because the European Union has already signaled that they have a problem with these programs. If we are hearing that they want to secretly restart allowing Russians into the program, I am telling you, there will be headwinds ahead. And that is why you need a serious government, because serious times demand serious attention from serious people. And this team on this stage and the two that are missing because they had to be in Nevis tonight, Alexis Jeffers and Eric Evelyn, we are serious people. And we understand what it takes. We have the perfect blend of experience, of youth, and still maturity. As I like to say, we're old enough to know and still young enough to do. And that is why I feel so proud to be here tonight to endorse this document, which means that we have now before us a blueprint for the next 5 years. The hype is good, the music is good, the crowds are good. But at the end of the day, I want you to assure me that on the 5th of August, on that Freedom Day, you will go out and do what you have to do to ensure that we rescue St. Kitts and Nevis. Ladies and gentlemen, we promised the marijuana industry in St. Kitts and Nevis. I don't smoke marijuana, but people who smoke it say good. I say, if it's good for you, good for you. But we understand that there's economic value to be had. And my colleagues up here who are in the cabinet will tell you that almost every week I ask for an update what is happening with the marijuana industry for St. Kitts and Nevis. Well, the minute that Timothy gave it to Juicy, I know it wasn't going to go anywhere. Because Juicy is who you give things to when you don't want to progress them. So I was concerned, and that has stayed right there. But Sean Richards has promised me, and I accept that commitment from him, that this has to be at the top of our agenda. We have to create new industries to ensure that we diversify our economy. We create new jobs and new sector and allow our country to move forward. for meetings and like CCA meetings, you know. CCA meeting, man, they talk for all 2 hours, Pam say 15 minutes, and that's it. And I never ever want to overstay my welcome down here. But I want you to understand that the reason I have made this trip tonight is to fully endorse the contents of this document. And to say to you that we have an excellent relationship. We have been deterred. We have been turned around. But we shall never be denied the St. Kitts and Nevis that we deserve. And that St. Kitts and Nevis is a place where every boy and girl, whether you're from Old Road or you come from Gingerland, every boy and girl can grow up to know that he or she can be whatever he or she wants to be. And every citizen of our country, every single citizen is assured of the full fruits of his or her citizenship. That is why we say fair share. Fair share is not only about Nevis getting what belongs to Nevis. Fair share is also about the people of St. Kitts getting what belongs to you. You know, when Lindsay spoke, he spoke from the heart. Because we sat in a cabinet where we were told this was no longer available. This program was closed. That program was closed. You know what it's like when you're a representative of people and people come to you and they make the case to you and you tell them you can't do anything because a program is closed. And then you look around and people in some constituencies are being added and added and added. Roofing program, all kinds of programs used for one purpose, to undermine the People's Action Movement, to undermine the Concerned Citizens Movement, and to build up. But guess what? All of that comes to an end on August 5th. All of it comes to an end. And listen, I am not asking for much. I just want to be in the parliament for the first sitting. I want to look across and see Timo and start to laugh. Man God. That is all I want to do. I don't want to never crazy. I'm going to start to laugh. Because imagine you mash up a whole government because you don't want to keep the promise. You mash up a whole government because you don't want to keep your commitments to your colleagues and to the country. Greed, corruption, and we said no more of that. That is why we wrote to the GG. And we said, listen, we are the majority, and in any democracy, you cannot have legitimacy as a prime minister unless you have the support of the majority. You are the majority, we are the majority, and we will ensure that we correct the ship, we right the ship of state on August 5th. That is Freedom Day. That is the day that the Lord hath made, and we will go forth and we will rejoice in it. St. Kitts, I don't tell all of you down here that the voting not start at 1, with all due respect to my friend Shani. The voting start at 9. I am going to bring 9, 10, and 11. So, Pam, what are you going to do? Pam, if I bring 9, and I bring 10, and I bring 11, what are you going to do? What are you going to do in number 1? Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8. Well, let me tell you something. Today, with all the nomination that was going on, I have a little confession to make. I see my friend Sean on a big, big horse. And I say that I too once entered on a horse, but the horse was so big and it was at night. And the fellow who holding the, what you call it, the reins for the horse. The fella had a little stutter. A fella from Antigua, he said, boss, a horse not like night, you know. A horse not like light. So the people have turned off the light for me to come in on the horse and then put on the light and see the people. So me say, what the horse can do if he see light? He tell me the horse might bolt. I said, bolt with who? I jumped on off the horse early. So when I see Sean, I say, Sean, hold on tight. Whatever you do, don't fall off the horse. And let me tell you all, you know, Pam people, you're so funny. You put the horse in some yellow clothes. I believe it is one of the best nomination days that we have had. And members and friends of the People's Action Movement, I am asking you to increase the momentum all the way to August 5th. So that when the Saints go marching in on August 5th, that we are all in that number. Ensure that you make your mark for the People's Action Movement. Ensure that you make your mark for the Concerned Citizens Movement. Together, two islands, one federation, one movement, moving our people forward. That is why we're here. As I leave the stage and as I head back to Nevis, let me ask you, members and friends of the People's Action Movement, those of the Concerned Citizens Movement, let me ask you something. Y'all ready? I can't hear you. Pam, are you ready? Let me hear you make some noise in all road. People's Action Movement, are you ready? Good night and God bless you.
Yes, so that's Baby Brantley making his presentation on the eve following nomination day. Now, this is the same Baby Brantley that vilified the NRP for even thinking about having a conversation with the Labour Party or even campaigning with the Labour Party. He tried to tell the people of Nevis that St. Kitts people not good for you. Labour people not good for you. Stay away from them. They're not good for you. But he spent his entire campaign campaigning with Pam. Now, I have some serious concerns in my people. And the serious concerns that I have, for those who are not paying attention, I know some of you don't like to hear his voice, as painful as it is for me to sit here and listen to this clip. I have to listen. Because if you don't listen to what people are saying, you would not know what they say. You're going to have to then wait for somebody to come and tell you that this say and that say. Then I bring in the story straight in. They're going to add on some or take off some. Me like to hear the facts for myself. So that evening, I spent the time over there on the lawn and heard Baby Brantley and saw his performance in Way 4. And I could hear some of the people in the area. And what he doing here? He a Labour. What he doing at a PAM convention? He's a Labour. This, I get me cussing while, like I said, my good friend Srini and those guys, Noah Mills, them guys welcome me, they embrace me, we had a drink. But there are some people who thought I should not be there. But St. Kitts Nevis is for everybody. So who is Baby Brantley to chastise the people of Nevis and the people of St. Kitts, that people giving succor, people who giving help to NRP? He's going to deal with them when the time is right. He went to the cemetery and brought out Bradshaw from Springfield during the campaign, talking about bone in your rice and pepper in your soup. The man bite left, right, and center, and people fall for his gimmicks. They fall for all his gimmicks. And I want to know, is only DJ Marisha paying attention to what's going on in the politics? The last 7 years has been very painful. My concern here right now with Baby Brantley, I don't hate the man, God knows. I love the gentleman. What is his attitude towards people, the misleading and lies and corrupt behaviors with the people money there in Nevis? If you listen to him speaking about the geothermal project, the bidding process earlier, then that should explain why we have the problem we have at the hospital wing. The guy don't have a clue what is going on. The guy come to a cricket match, but he only know how to play baseball. He can't even take a cricket stand. The cricket ball gonna kill you, Baby Brantley. This is not baseball time. You don't just swing at anything. You have to play the ball on its merit. Nevis is supposed to be a cricket country. You don't learn nothing. All you learn is to lie and lie. And we cannot call these things lies anymore because, like I say, you believe them. And if you believe these lies, then we got to find another word for them. You are mentally ill. You are a mental case. And if the people of Nevis want to continue down this road, Nevis have a serious problem. Nobody can be able to save Nevis. Not our prime minister, nobody, no matter who jacket you hold on and you're going to bring them down. You're a destructor. You are not someone that love to build, you love to destroy. I am of the concern. I am concerned for our prime minister. And why I'm concerned? I want to know if you really knock after all of that campaigning with Pam. I want to know if you really chuck Sean under the bus and abandon Sean, or you tell Sean, hold on there, partner. Let me work and bring down Dr. Joe and the Labour Party, and then we're going to go back to our thing. That is my concern, you know. Because I saw your campaign openly, your campaign hard with PAM, the People's Action Movement, and Sean. So I am very concerned whether or not you throw Sean under the bus completely. If you're that dirty, if your heart really that dirty to just throw Sean under the bus, abandon Sean, and now you're working and bringing on the Labour Party, or you're really that selfish that you don't care about Nevis as long as your backside is safe. I really do not know what to think. But at the end of the day, I love the direction that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis was heading under the NRP and the Labour Party, trying to unite the people. Those days when everybody wants secession and this and that. I was happy that I went across to Nevis. I made good friends. My boy there, Mikey Slack, Jeff Pemberton, Moffett, Miko, my boy Astron. All of us get along. But when you get involved, friendships and families destroy. So I want to know, are you just there to destroy? Do you really care about the people of St. Kitts and Nevis? That is my real concern, is that what will it take for the people to understand that we have to take it back? When we say get rid of them, we did not say part of them, you know. We didn't say 2/3, you know. We said 3/3, we want all of them gone. And at the end of the day, when I sit back and I examine myself and examine the overall political atmosphere in Nevis, as much as I was kind of upset that the NRP did not do things a certain way, God was speaking in the atmosphere for us, and we don't even realize that God was speaking. Because had NRP won the government, some things that we learned, we would have never learned. And we would have ended up with a problem child in the house and might have taken Nevis in the same direction that Baby Brantley is taking Nevis now. We can't afford that. We need to bring the people of St. Kitts Nevis back together. And I look forward to the day where Dr. Joe, Prime Minister Joe, can come to the people and say that a place has been located. The now federal office will be open in Nevis where people can feel free to go to that office and conduct their business, make an appointment and do whatever needs to be done. I look forward to that day where Prime Minister Joe can go across to Nevis and have a comfortable town hall meeting without any fear, any concern that people want to get upset and whatever they want to be. Nevis is nice, no question about that. That song that Miko penned there is definitely a lovely track. Nevis nice. But, at the end of the day, we just have to do the right thing. All we need is love and understanding for my people. Just let's love each other, understand each other, and just understand that when we're gone, St. Kitts and Nevis is here to stay. And at the end of the day, if we don't do our part and leave the legacy and leave a good place for our beloved citizens, we're gonna have a problem. And my good people, I just want you to know that our awesome and hardworking Prime Minister is here. So just before I go into speaking with the Prime Minister, I got to do my due diligence and ensure that we give the respect that is due to the Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable Prime Minister, I cannot stand with you, but I know that you will stand for the anthem, and I think it's the right thing to do. Whenever the Prime Minister speaks, you must give the anthem before you come online. So if you can just tap your screen, open your mic, and just stand by for the national anthem, I look forward to having a conversation with you, sir. So just bear with me 1 minute as I organize the national anthem for you. Yes, definitely. The PM is there and we're ready to go. As soon as the PM come back on screen, I will definitely drop the anthem and we will move on to this thing. So my good people, it's good to see that, as I said, the Prime Minister is accessible and he's here to speak to us this evening and bring whatever updates he has from the hard work of the Labor administration and his entire team there. It's been a lot of work in the last 9 months. As a matter of fact, I think while the Prime Minister might be organizing himself, maybe I could drop a track and give him a chance to get himself organized, and I'll come right back to the PM as soon as I see him back on stream. So I'm gonna drop this track here for my boy, Ira McMahon. I know he's a parable kind of guy. When Ira is speaking to me, he give me all kind of parables like my grandmother and grandfather back in the days. So let's drop this one by the mighty Sparrow, Parables for the man Ira and crew.
Long ago, boy, when I was young, and anything at all go wrong, I used to run to me grandmother for she to help me. But oh brother, when she talk is only parable. When she done, I in more trouble. I know it's good advice she giving, but what the devil she saying? A ounce of prevention better than a whole pound of cure to do. Never trouble until trouble you. You scratch my back before yours gets scratched. When you're drinking gasoline, don't eat much. What's sweet in goat mouth goes sour in ink pants. Men have no right in rock stone dance. Exchange no robbery any thought for a storm. Camping from for monkey run on.
Yeah.
I really thought she was a mad woman because I really couldn't understand all these parables she using to me. It was too confusing. You're young, you're quick to fall in love, and always have problem to solve. I think I'm getting help from she, but she telling me Nancy's story. Lalin kui shubare. One day, Congo day. Who are cocoa in sun, always looking for rain. You have been afraid as again. Wise man will never practice what you hear him preach. So don't have your hand where your hand carries. Love soon get cold when it run hot like that. Many when to skin out. That's the one I like. Tell me more, Granny. Boy, oh boy, she was a real good sport. A real amusing sort, she could fix any problem, I'm sure. She had a plaster for every sore. When you live in glass house, no stone. The window you break might be your own. Who bring you news, won't carry back on you. Everything she tell me is true. Show me a thief, I'm gonna show you a liar. Words of a fair long together. Knowledge is power, wisdom is force. That's a runaway horse. Fool could make money, but it's wise man to spend it. Nobody could teach a old dog new tricks. One hand can't clap, once bitten, twice shy on. You'll never miss the water till the well run dry. Tell me, Granny, yeah, it's sweet.
Yes, that's the mighty sparrow says, you never miss the water till the well run dry. Yes, I'm about to, like I said, drop the national anthem where I'm asking everyone to give the respect to the Prime Minister and the head of our Labour administration, the Labour Party. I want to pick up the late great, the man, brother Kenrick Georges, the author of the anthem, sister Marsha, good evening, how are you doing? So we're going to drop the anthem and we're going to come in with the PM. Nice. That's the anthem of the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. Honorable Prime Minister, just tap your screen there and open your mic.
Yes, good evening. I think you can hear me.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good having you. You got a whole bunch of folks online that has been waiting patiently for you. As I have said to you previously when you were here, with this broadcast, every week we have new folks online. So do I introduce you as the Prime Minister? I would ask you to give a quick synopsis of who is Dr. Terence Joe, as well as give you a chance to do your opening statement at the same time, because I know you're a man pressed for time these days.
Right, thank you very much. I'm pressed for time, but I make time to connect and interact with our people. I was just recently in New York. I think we had two excellent events there. And, so I just want to say good night to all of our citizens who are listening at this particular time, especially those in diaspora, that, as I've said before, DJ, that I will not just wait until an election time to interact with our people. I think that our people, even those who live in the diaspora, play a very significant role in the advancement and development of St. Kitts and Nevis. And it's not just through remittances, but I think that our people have a lot to offer in terms of resources, whether it be tangible resources or, knowledge transfer and expertise and stuff like that. And just to give you a few examples, we recently received 15 dialysis machines, regardless of all the nonsense that is being said about them. They came through one of our diaspora, one of citizens living in diaspora, Leo Estridge from Canada, and we have received them. And he has asked me if we needed more because he's a specialist when it comes to dialysis machine, and he has access and have gotten us that well needed donation. We only had 5 machines, and they were working overtime. And with these 15 that will be commissioned soon, they definitely will help significantly. So these are the ways in which our people in diaspora can help. For example, we are exploring renal transplant here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and it's through our through citizens living in the diaspora who connected us with that resource. Also, the surgeon that we have here working at JNF was also connected to us through one of our citizens in the diaspora. And so our people in the diaspora are helping. We had training for the police officers, which was conducted with one of citizens living in the diaspora again. And we also, when I was in New York, I had somebody come forward with a proposal for dental care and so forth, which we are looking at this point in time. And the reason why I have pointed out these things is because we have to be one people, whether we live in St. Kitts and Nevis or we live in the diaspora, that we can significantly contribute to our development. And I'm engaging other persons in the diaspora. For example, two of our envoys, Ms. Hadia Claxton and Mr. Stephen St. Just, living in the diaspora will do significant work for us. And we have others, like Warren Nero and so forth. So others are doing significant work for us, work that we might have, consulted persons who are not of the St. Kitts citizenship, of St. Kitts citizenry. And now the difference is we have our people who are so educated, so resourceful that we can now tap into more of our people to carry out that work for us out there in the diaspora. And so the diaspora is critical for our national development. And we are setting up an office where we are almost like a secretariat here in St. Kitts and Nevis, where our diaspora will be able to conduct business with. They'll be able to consult, they'll be able to contact. Many times persons in diaspora looking for ways in which they can come in and help and contribute, and it's challenging and difficult for them. And so we are setting up that specific area. So I intend to visit as much of the diaspora before the first year anniversary. In my own.
Yeah.
For example, we have ANSA coming up in Anguilla very soon, and I intend to go to ANSA in Anguilla. So we have the opportunity to speak to our people there. And I intend to visit some more places around where our people are living so that we can make that connection and make that connection early. So I want to say all in all that our plan and program to engage the diaspora has been going very well. I have been in a number of areas thus far, and I look forward to continued dialogue and interaction with our people. But needless to say, DJ, I think we are seeing the foundation of our plans and programs being cemented. For example, our healthcare and what we are doing presently in terms of more specialists, more equipment, getting our people trained and so forth. We are pushing forward, and that there, it is not, we have improved significantly. There's still some areas to improve because, we met healthcare really without systems and proper systems. And so we are trying to create those systems so that we can become an accredited hospital. So that our people who come from the diaspora, they can be certain that there's an accredited hospital that can take care of their healthcare needs. And that is the confidence that we want to build in the sector. That is why we have done so much for health. We have brought in specialists. Eye surgery, which was stopped, we have started eye surgery again. We have brought in equipment, the anesthesiology equipment, so that when people have surgery, to intubate them and sedate them and so forth, the machinery is definitely there. We have gotten new cabinets for the chemotherapy, where we mix them so that they can be mixed in a safe way. We have started restructured how blood is donated, and we have actually been able to do a number of blood drives, which have helped the situation significantly. We increased the number of doctors in the A&E. We have full cadre of doctors at Sandy Point, and we also will increase over the Mary Charles area. And so we have brought in the specialists, which are internists with focus in ICU, internists with focus in emergency medicine. We have brought in a neurologist that deals with nerves, and we have brought in the surgeon, of course, who I've spoken about. And not only that, we have started training for the EMS. So the EMTs are receiving training presently. I think that a post went out. And so we have also started professional training for nurses and so forth within the system. And we are moving quickly to get our MRI machine and our new hospital, which I think I will confirm the funding of it very shortly. It will cost about 60 million US dollars. And we have secured about 50 million US dollars thus far. So those are the things that we are doing with respect to advance the country. When it comes to, we have a big announcement, DJ. I can't say it tonight. I have been told that I cannot say it. We have a big announcement that will come next week. I can't say it come from me directly, but I can say that it will come from another country, and it will impact us positively, significantly. Yes, a major development. I want to also, so that is on the foreign policy standpoint, we have been able to establish the good name of St. Kitts and Nevis in the international arena, and that is resulting in a significant number of positive things coming to us. We are going to deal with our water problem. We're getting ready to drill for water over in the Carron area. All the equipment is there already and so forth. We are now making the final stages of an MOU for the desalination plant, which will be a 3 million gallon desalination plant. I want to say to our people that presently we have resolved the water problem to a great extent, not totally resolved as yet. Most persons get water daily, and we have been able to cut out, especially in the Carron area, long periods without water, because we made a contract with Marriott so that we can have more water be delivered to the Bastia area and to the Carron, St. Peter's area. So we have resolved that matter significantly, but more work needed to be done, and we are about to do the drilling. Remember, the drilling had been stopped for 7 years, and now it's about to get started. So I want to thank Wallace Isaac, who is very much involved with that one. With the electricity issue, we don't have blackouts anymore, very rare. If there's when we turn off the electricity for maintenance purposes, we don't have these blackouts anymore, because we invested in new generators, and we also sent the 6 megawatt generator, which is a very large generator. We sent it to France, the pads to France to get fixed. Those pads have come back, and we have installed them and so forth. So we have good reserve, and we are running very well when it comes to electricity. The issue is, though, the cost of the electricity, which we are now finalizing, renewable energy plan, which is a solar plan that is separate and apart from the geothermal. When we got there, we made a plan for solar that was in, we didn't think that was favorable. We took that back to the drawing board. We had discussions with other countries where the companies were from, and we came up with something that would benefit St. Kitts and Nevis, and even the companies, very open, transparent, and so forth. What we met there, we could not go through with that plan for the solar plan. So we negotiated that, and so we are going to be moving this. So energy, water, healthcare. When it comes to tourism, as I said, we're going to get some big announcement early next week as well with respect to our tourism. People are going to see new things coming on, and things they probably wouldn't have thought were possible in such a short time, in less than a year. we will have significant move on the front of our immigration, on the front of our tourism and transport in and out of the Federation as well. So I'm happy to announce that. We also see some movement on the labor front, especially. We are now discussing the minimum wage over the last 10 years, even though a livable wage was promised, nothing was done. And we are moving on that minimum wage. It's a difficult period, of course, because we're just post-COVID. We understand that, but we also understand that the people, we have to do our best so that the people can have the best standard of living that they can have. And so when you go to the Orange economy, we are going to have a massive music festival this year. Burna Boy and our own local artists will be there as well. And so we are looking forward to that. We're also going to have CONCACAF this year. CONCACAF, which is expected to bring about 400 persons in the Federation with an economic impact of between $6 and $10 million. And they will be here for a few weeks. So we're looking forward to CONCACAF in St. Kitts and Nevis. And then we expect to have CPL this year as well, which will have its own economic impact. And in addition to that, we'll have a massive independence celebration that will take place. And so we are looking forward to that as well. We have put a drought-resistant plan for agriculture in place, which will be fleshed out. We are getting ready to start our housing. Right now, we are actually building houses. NHC is constructing at least between 20 and 30 houses at this present time. And we are picking up the rate. So they're already working, but the full rollout of the housing is to come before the summer ends for sure. The Bastille High School, we are putting plans together for that. We're going to rebuild the Bastille High School along with some other institutions that need building up. So when you look at it all around and the economy is going, we know that the economy is going as well. The country is opening back up and we're moving forward as well. So when we look at a number of critical things, I will say that we are on the right path. With our governance, we have passed our good governance legislation, of course, which is something that they spoke about for several years and did nothing again. And we were able to do that in the first year of this Labour administration. So a number of significant things in a short space of time have been done irrespective of what we found. We found the development bank in shambles. We had to save the development bank. Tens of millions of dollars can be accounted for. National Bank with the first deficit. First time couldn't pay dividend. And we were able to, National Bank is very stable, it's a strong bank, reputable bank, and that is, of course, definitely concerned. The economy ran a deficit, even though they were talking about surplus after surplus, we ran a deficit. So we met a deficit, economy in deficit, the banks that needed to be stabilized. And so economically, a country that had restrictions and tourism, our tourism growth is the worst in the OECS because we kept our restrictions beyond the time because the previous administration was playing politics with the restrictions and see how they could have used it to suppress the votes. But the unintended effect that had was to slow down tourism growth significantly with respect to the other countries in the OECS. However, we are boarding well and bouncing back well, even though that this has occurred. We could have been much further along because of the bad decision that resulted in what we see presently. But nonetheless, I think we are now setting the foundation of what we are about to launch our main strategy, which is a sustainable island state. And we will introduce that strategy to our people. How are we going to plan St. Kitts and Nevis for the next 10 years? It is a clear strategy. We're not guessing this work. This is built on a number of great principles which people around the world are very interested in. For example, next week we have a group of about 40 billionaires donors who look for opportunities to invest in renewable energy and climate smart opportunities and so forth. So we are attracting these type of persons here because they see where St. Kitts and Nevis is headed and they understand clearly our strategy and what we want to achieve. And the education end, that we made college free. College is now free for our people, tuition free. And we also, the student loans are 5%. New loans, and finally we had it now for old loans. So if you have people in the diaspora who had old loans, 9%, 10, 11%, they are now at 5%. So they need to call into the bank from the 1st of June to have their payments adjusted, and they will save significant amount of money as a result. And so when you look at all of these areas, and in the manufacturing, we are discussing with investors, with the CBI program we bought, we were able to advance it and make it better, stabilize it, and put it before the world, and it's stabilized and strong. So basically, we have done significant work to stabilize St. Kitts and Nevis, whether it be in the sector ministry that you want to look at. Significant work has been done to ensure that. So people in the diaspora will be proud to know where the country of St. Kitts and Nevis is at this point in time, and where this country is heading under the Labour administration.
Definitely, Prime Minister Joe, I appreciate you taking the time out to come and give that important information, because I do not know if you're paying attention to the fake news and everything that's going on out there. And the attack, they figure they cannot get to you directly because some of us out here debunk their actions, so they come from a different angle. And I just want you to stay focused, because at the end of the day, as I said earlier this evening and before, is that what the Labour administration under your leadership have done in the last 9 months is nothing but, I can't even call it great. It's beyond great, because what you guys met there to what you have done thus far.
Yes.
The average, what we face in the 7 years is just amazing to what you guys have accomplished thus far. You see, a while ago, someone just sent me a picture there. I forwarded it to you, and I just laughed to myself, because I do not know for a prime minister that have not spoken to me since 2020, a former hog that have not spoken to me since 2020. I do not know why I would be in bed with them now trying to attack the Labour administration, the Labour administration that is there doing a good job. But I'm staying focused. I would not be feeding into those distractions, Let's stay focused. Right now, my main concern, Prime Minister, and there's a lot that we can talk about, but I know we don't have the time to go through too many things this evening. But the last time you were here on this program, we did not really get a chance to venture into the Nevis end of things. And be honest with you, with everything else that is going on, everybody will see time to come the good that Labour can do, that they're doing. But I am more concerned about the relationship with the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. And you as a Prime Minister, I know you have explained certain things to me that you're in the process of doing, and you want to make a big presentation and whatever. So I am not at liberty to say to the people what you spoke to me about. But what I would like you to do is to at least satisfy the online viewerships or the people out there that are saying that they don't have a problem with you going in the diaspora or wherever you travel to meet with nationals at a town hall meeting. But Nevis is 2 miles across the waters, and you have not been there. It's 9 months. So, as you said, you had to stop the bleed before you can implement certain things in your work that you had scheduled. What you have to say to the people of Nevis. And there's another thing, and there's a second part to that. There are some saying on the streets about a lot of things with the NRP and the Labour and Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe, this is my way of dealing with things. You're a doctor. I believe in the way my grandmother used to do it. When we get cut, she take us down to the beach in Little Pan. She walk with an orange. She rub it until it bleed. She take us back home. She put the, what do you call it, iodine at the time on it. It burned, but it healed very well without any kind of infection. So we need to deal with this Nevis matter head on, because the people of Nevis themselves, the people them love the Prime Minister, they love what you're doing. All they're saying is that they want to see the Prime Minister in Nevis. So feel free to present your position.
Right, good. So I agree. I've been to Nevis on multiple occasions. I actually went for the opening of the Nevis Island administration when the Parliament opened, or the House opened. And so I have been there. The capacity as an official visit, I think they might be asking maybe interact on a different level. I am coming to Nevis, and I'm planning a visit to Nevis that is actually on the plan right now. I hear the voices, and that had always been the intention to do so. As I said before, my intention and our intention in this administration is to develop the best relationship with the Nevis Island administration so that both islands can benefit from the resources and the development that each of us should have. For example, the geothermal, we are dealing with that as a federal resource that will benefit both islands. And we are looking at opportunities where both islands can benefit. For example, when we do healthcare, for example, when we do dialysis and so forth, when we do eye surgery, the people of Nevis can benefit significantly. And if people of Nevis have resources that we can benefit from, that is good. For example, we had an issue where the anesthetist had an injury and we needed somebody to fill in, and the anesthetist from Nevis came over to fill in to make sure that things continue. And this is how we are supposed to work, and I intend to continue to work that way. The person in Gingerland should have as much opportunities as the person in Keyon, in St. Peter, St. Kitts. There should not be any disparity with respect to that, and that is my intention, to work so that the federation can move forward and both islands can benefit equally. That is in an equitable way, let me put it that way. But that is why I kept saying that for me, any talk of secession is totally off the table, cannot be on the table. I'm traveling around the world, and I think people take us for a joke if the smallest country in the Western Hemisphere is even discussing about secession. Secession should not, from my perspective, and I'm giving my perspective, that does not make sense for any of us at this point in time. And so we have to forge forward to see how we can strengthen the relationship, better the relationship. And that is why the AG spoke about putting a constitutional committee together to look at the Constitution to ensure that the Constitution reflects exactly what we want as people. The other thing is, just to piggyback on that, with the Constitution, we just went to the House recently where, we passed passed into law where Nevis Island administration can be sued, sue and be sued. And that, of course, when you went to the court the first time, the court, in its opinion, there seemed to have been a gap, and we rectified that gap. And so that was a major piece of legislation. It had nothing to do with constitutional reform or touching the Constitution, just making it clear that that could happen as there was a gap with the original writing. So I just want to say basically that is our intention to work. I heard people talking about relationship with NRP and so forth, but I think the leader for NRP in the last election, she made it clear. She said clearly that she was not going to work directly with any political party, and whichever party won, she would definitely work with. And I have to respect any political leader who makes that decision for their political party. I have that type of respect. And if anybody were to reach out to me, I would always carry out the wishes of their leader, because that was said publicly. And we understood that very clearly. And we said if that is the position that they would have taken, then our position would be, Labour has to ask for a clear mandate. And we went and asked the people for a clear mandate so that we can be given the opportunity to implement the policies that we know will benefit the people. And so as far as I'm concerned, I don't fully subscribe that there's some sort of rift between us and anybody. I think the leader of the NRP made it very clear. And I think if you go back to some tapes, you'll hear it. And not only that, keeping with our principle that, we will work well with the Nevis Island administration so that there can be equity across both islands. And we have been moving along with that principle and respecting the position of the political parties that are on Nevis. And that has been our thrust thus far. So just to summarize, DJ, another official visit is being planned, interaction and having that good conversation with the people of Nevis, of course, is important as well. And to lay bare that we respect the position of any political party. We don't, and because we are a respectful organization, we're the oldest political party in the Caribbean, in the English-speaking Caribbean, and our political party has that level of maturity and understanding. We understand the politics, and therefore we will respect any other political party, what their decision would be. The only thing that we ask is that all of us abide by the principles of good governance and the principles of democracy. And that is where we stand, Mele Dije.
I appreciate your straightforward response, Mr. Prime Minister, because basically during the campaign of the federal government, federal elections, I myself too spoke with the leader of the NRP, and she gave me the same statement you just made, that NRP will not get involved in campaigning with any particular party, but they will support whoever the government or the majority seats is in St. Kitts, because St. Kitts is the only island that is in a position to form a government on their own. Anyone in Nevis will have to be a coalition. And I do not know if you paid attention. I know you've been in the politics and you've been around, but I do not know if you were paying attention to the kind of campaign that was created in the last 7 years and more so last year, where the premier, the leader of CCM, basically make an attack where he was campaigning on both islands. In Nevis, he's telling the people in Nevis that the NRP is having secret meetings with the Labour and whatever, and they should not support them, because he's making it like Labour is no good for Nevis. He went as far as bringing out the talk. I don't know if you ever heard the clip about Batcha telling them you're going to give them bone in the rice and pepper in the soup and all of that stuff. All of these things was part of the campaign. So the situation that the NRP took is not like it's a situation that they wanted to take, but they knew that they basically, if they openly support the Labour Party, they might as well don't campaign, because they're not going to get the seat. That is the kind of campaign that Mark. Then he turned around after telling people in St. Kitts, stay out of Nevis politics. Don't get involved in Nevis politics. He was in St. Kitts. Nomination day after he left St. Peter's by your nomination from your headquarters, I went over to Verchilds on the lawn, where Mark was there giving his speech, supporting the launch of the, what you call that stuff that you all did there with your pillars?
Manifesto.
Your manifesto. He was there supporting. So for the people to get caught up in this kind of stuff, politically, I think that NRP could have taken a different approach, because you cannot have someone telling you cannot work with the Labour Party in St. Kitts, but you're working with PAM. And on the other hand, now that government have changed, the person that you was working with, it seems as you throw them under the bus, and now you give the impression that you're working with Labour. And why I say the things I say on this program is for people to understand that I appreciate one thing you said at your inauguration, that you are the Prime Minister for everyone. And I know you cannot get into the petty talk about not working with Brantley. He's the Premier. You got to work with the NIA. We understand that. The part that the people are speaking about, and I have to support them with it, and I want the people to be clear on that they're saying that you come to New York, you go to Washington, you have a town hall meeting. Why not one in Nevis? And I said to them, it's going to happen. The Prime Minister heard you. The Prime Minister understands, but things have to be done a certain way. I know you're working on the opening of the federal office in Nevis. How is that coming?
Right. So as I said before, there have been good communication between us and the NIA, which I had said even before the election. So that is a principle on which we are working. So we are working on a principle with respect to working with the NIA, because when there's antagonism between the federal and the NIA, that relationship does not serve, that bad relationship does not serve St. Kitts and Nevis well. And we believe that the best relationship should be had in order to serve both islands well. So in terms of plans coming along to get things done, we are moving along, we are moving ahead. All of the things that benefits from the federal benefits St. Kitts, I want them to benefit Nevis as well. For example, we are going to do the Charlestown Police Station. That is not a Nevis Island administration project, that is a federal project, but we have responsibility for the police and so forth. And so we take that responsibility very seriously. So anywhere we have the responsibility and we have to act, we are always willing to act, because again, we act from the principle that we should work well with the Nevis Island administration so that both islands can do well. And on the geothermal, the Nevis Island administration and the federal government, we have worked very well to attract 16.8, I think 17 million US dollars to help to further develop from the CDB to help to further develop the geothermal. So far, we have RFPs have been sent out, and those RFPs have attracted. So it is my intention, as I've said before, to work well with the Nevis Island administration so that Nevis can benefit as well. When we did the dividend, the people of Nevis rightfully benefited because, of course, they pay their social security as well. And we have a number of federal projects where the people of Nevis are benefiting, and they should benefit as well. And that is my intention, that the people of Nevis do benefit. So I work with the Nevis Island administration. Those are who the people have elected, and therefore it is incumbent that the federal government and the Nevis Island administration have an excellent working relationship so as to give the best opportunity for these two small, very vulnerable islands to develop. There's very little room for error. The hurricane season is about to start, and we're having prayer tomorrow. And I can actually say that with each season is an existential threat to us. Got one major hurricane, and that can wipe out most of our wealth. So there's no room really to not have a good relationship. We have to continue to work at it. That is why we want to look at the Constitution and get it right. That is why we have gone to the World Bank and asked the World Bank to set up a framework as to how we would share our revenues. We need to revisit it. Because the revenue sharing spoke about taxable revenue, it didn't speak about non-taxable revenue, and therefore we have to get that part of it right as well. As again, so that that boy in Gingerland can have the same opportunity as that boy in St. Peter's. We should not have a setup where there is inequity in the system. And so in a great sense, DJ, I think there's great opportunity to continue to work. So that part about interacting with the people of Nevis, I have done so, but it needs to be done more, strengthening more, and we are moving to act because it is the right thing to do, and it is always the intention of us to do it. And when the people speak, well, they inquire that as well. So I respect that, and we are moving on that as well. So that is where we stand. And looking forward, of course, to very positive, continued positive developments in the relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis.
Mr. PM, you spoke about geothermal, and I know that the Nevis Island administration is, and I think Premier Grant is responsible for that project. So I do not know if you're up to speed. Do you listen to his press conferences and hear his reports?
Well, I know what is, well, I would listen, I don't really listen, but I would say that we are working as a federal government and as a Nevis Island administration together to push that forward.
Okay, so that we don't have any misleading information going forward. I just want you to listen to this clip real quick for your information. You don't have to comment on it if you don't want to. But for me, as a citizen who's been involved in construction, I don't think that is good for the public to be listening to this kind of stuff. Whoever the technicians are, or the engineers that is dealing with the geothermal, if the Prime Minister or the Premier is coming to a press conference to enlighten the general public, come with someone who have knowledge of the trade and have the facts, because this is very misleading. Take a quick listen.
Glenn Bart from SKN News 9. On the geothermal project, I don't know if you spoke about it, but can you just give me a quick update on what's happening and what's going to happen for the rest of the year?
Okay. The geothermal project, we had a meeting last week. I would want to think it was Monday on this with NEVLEC, which is the executing agency, and the bidding process has come to a close. I'm advised that over 30 companies expressed an interest in the project. But NEVLEC has explained that initially when they put it out to tender, they put it out in parts. Let me try to explain it this way. If we're doing this building that we're now in, rather than putting out a tender for the entire building, they put out a tender for the foundation, for the block work, for the roof, for the air conditioning, for the electrical, etc. Different pieces. And so they said they had 4 different components for the project that they put out. And therefore, the 30+ companies, some of them were specialists in only one of those areas. So for example, going back to the example I used for this building, some people showed interest, say, well, okay, we do roofs or we do AC. So they showed an interest in the AC component of it. They later changed, that is NEVLEC, and they asked for a single bid on the entire project, on the understanding that whoever the successful bidder was could then subcontract out to others for various components. And a lot of those companies therefore fell away, because even though I'm a specialist in air conditioning, doesn't mean that I know how to do foundation or the roof. So this sort of reduced the number considerably. And I'm told that at the end, 3 companies bid on the entire project. They're evaluating these bids, and we hope to have a result, I'm told, by the 30th of June. That's the date that they've given to me in terms of completing the evaluation and having a position that we could come to the public with in relation to that. We are told that they're looking at drill rigs, and that we know that some drill rigs are available. One rig that we're aware of could be available as early as December, and another available as early as January in the coming year. And so we anticipate that if there's to be drilling, which we expect, that it won't happen until towards the end of this year. Having said that, Mr. Barth, I would want the public to understand that there's some work to be done. There's some lands in the area to be acquired. There's some road works to be done to put in the road, because when the drill rig comes, it will need to be able to traverse a particular pathway to get to the site. And then those individuals who have lands in the immediate vicinity of the drilling, we're trying to acquire those lands so as to make them a part of the project, as opposed to having people having lands right next to the project. Those lands in terms of noise and drilling and all the, what comes from drilling, we feel that it would be better for those lands to be in the possession of government. And so we're trying to negotiate now with the landowners to acquire those lands in that immediate vicinity.
That's just a sample of part of the press conference, Mr. Prime Minister. For me, as someone who is into construction and understand the messaging that we've been hearing about geothermal over the last several months, it is very unacceptable. And to know that the federal cabinet is now involved, or the federal government is now involved in that geothermal project, it is not encouraging, because it's telling us that the messaging coming from the federal end is not the same on the local NIA end. I'm going to give another 2-minute clip on the other end that took place in January of this year, that you could understand the conflict and the messaging for the people. Listening to these 2 clips makes me now have a better understanding of why we're having problem completing the hospital wing at Alexandra Hospital. Because if this is the way that they does business in Nevis.
Right.
Then,
so I would say, Jeffrey, I heard it. I played a good part of it. As I said before, I would speak in these terms as I speak, that the federal government, of course, we're looking at this as a federal resource, and I think this will be good this is a good opportunity for both St. Kitts and Nevis. Nothing is ever going to be perfect, and sometimes things take roads that you have to, sometimes go and readjust and so forth, because this is life, and these things will happen. They're just part and parcel of how processes work. But I think having the CDB involved, which is a very respectable institution that was significantly helping to guide this process, I think this has helped tremendously as well. I wouldn't get into the technicalities of the discussion with respect to it, but I can say that all who have looked at it, the CDB, of course, which is a reputable organization, has deemed that this is, and what they have given is what we call a grant loan. A grant loan is, if you find energy, it is a loan. If you don't find any, it is a grant. So it means that you do not expose us to any loss. The money would just be, so okay, it was a grant, we didn't find anything, but there's a high percentage chance, very, very, very high percentage chance that something will be found. And this can actually help both islands. So for the both islands to be partnering significantly on this, federal and NIA, I think this is a good example of how we can work together to bring about the good for both islands and for the good for all of our people. And so it's in that spirit that I approach it, and it's in that spirit that the federal government is acting, and we have a very reputable organization in the middle of all of this, which is the CDB. So that is the things that are present.
I appreciate that. Honorable Prime Minister, another thing that I know out there in the atmosphere, and again, like I said, I do not know what you guys hear down there, but even while I'm here, my phone is going off with all kind of nonsense. And I like to put things to rest once and for all, and you cannot stop the fake pages. You cannot stop the pundits who is out there with the sour grapes. But I have never heard of the Labour administration running any candidates in the Nevis federal election or supporting any candidate.
I am not even supporting. I am not even going to discuss that. That, as you say, come from the fake pages and so forth. And I really don't want to entertain it. For me, I am entertaining that.
Okay, so I'm just letting you know what's out there. That they're saying the Labour Party.
I see why you bring it, and I respect why you bring it. But my position is I can't entertain that.
Right, cool.
But I understand why you bring that.
All right. Yes. And another concern I got earlier this week, and this is someone who was a former minister in cabinet in Nevis, who apparently had some medical issues and had to go away for surgery or whatever. And when they get there, they open them up and find out that it was more than what they anticipated, and they decided to deal with the matter. Apparently they're having some issues with the National Insurance is a government agency. The
National Insurance, just like the National Bank, it has a board, is run by a board and so forth. So so the government is not directly involved. The board has a board, and its own structure.
I understand, but again, I was reached out to, and again, when they come at me, like I told them, I'm not one of your advisors, but for whatever reason, they feel like, well, I campaign heavy for you and I should bring it to your attention.
I appreciate you bringing it. The board has a recourse. The board has to respond to the thing. They have their policies and so forth, and I think that they would explain to the client. And so we do not interfere directly in that. That is not acceptable. But whoever the person is, I want to wish them well. I wish them best of health and hope whatever the matter is, they get it resolved. And if they don't get it resolved in their favor based on policies of the institution, which I'm not totally au fait with all of the policies, I'm not into insurance, that they can find other means of getting the help that they so require. And I myself would personally contribute because I'm a doctor and I believe in good health of the people. But in terms of the policies of the National Health Insurance, they have their policies and so forth. And I think that they will comply with them and make sure that they're not putting anybody at a disadvantage for any reason at all. And they should operate, and I think they operate in good faith as far as I know. If there's a difference, I would be open to hear that difference. But I hope that whatever it is, it can be resolved.
That's the question I'm trying to ask, is that in matters like these, if the insurance, it's an independent organization of the government.
The government.
Correct. But in the event that the matter is not acceptable to individuals, is there any recourse where there is another avenue where they can go and grieve the process, appeal their decision in these regards? Because what I'm saying is this, Doctor, is this, Mr. Prime Minister, is this, that when I look at someone who put in, you're the Prime Minister now, I would hate to know that after you have put in your term as Prime Minister, God happens that something happened to you 20 years from now, and because of some policy, your life can be spared for another 10 years, but because of some policy, you're not allowed to be treated because of their policy. I mean, I don't believe in putting money over livelihood. Only one life we have.
Right. So I don't know the specifics of the matter, but I agree with you. That is why I'm pushing for universal health care that will take care of all of this. That's one. Secondly, I started a fund for children from the Prime Minister's office, that any child who needs life-saving treatment and cannot be treated in St. Kitts and Nevis, that we partner with others to make sure that the child, and so far we have saved a number of children, including children from Nevis. So this program coming from my office serves both children in St. Kitts and in Nevis. And so I agree with you that I believe healthcare should be a right, but based on how things are structured now, they can affect that principle. And that is why we are pushing so hard to have universal healthcare, because universal healthcare and health equity can take care of a lot of these matters.
I just spoke about the situation with your organization and the child. Earlier this afternoon, I received a WhatsApp from someone in St. Kitts asking me if I'm available to answer a question. And it was about a child that apparently was born with some issues, and they want to know if I know how to go about setting up a GoFundMe. So I asked them, had they reached out to your office? Because if I am not mistaken, you had spoke about it on my program that any kids, babies that need that kind of care, you have put things in place. As a matter of fact, 2 babies have recently received that care in the Bahamas. And that person responded and said that, yes, you are aware of it and you have been helping, but the doctors are not communicating. So I said to them, well, if the doctor is not communicating, then step up the communication to who we need to get to. Because I know the Prime Minister spoke about this, and so far there was babies that benefited from the opportunity.
Right. So, I cannot intervene between a patient and their doctor. Once we know that the child is available, we start to make resources available. And that is why the parent can tell you that I am helping. Once they reach out, I am ready to help. Just send the doctor's report, the doctor sanction it, the doctor here speak to the doctor, they have a receiving hospital. The doctor do the doctor's part, and we come in to make sure that the resources are available. We work with PALS, that is a non-profit organization, NGO. We work with other persons to help to fund it, but we make sure that the funding is available. And that is why we're able to save the lives of those children. So anybody who reach out with that legitimate case, they will be assisted. So that is why. Just recently, a patient could not travel, a child born with a particular type of malformation where the intestines were outside of the abdomen, just hanging outside. And the patient couldn't travel. We had to bring a doctor in. We brought a doctor in, of course, providing the resources for the doctors to come in to do the surgery, to at least give the child a chance. The child is still alive. We might have to do further things in getting the child overseas, which again, the doctors and hospital will coordinate, and we will come up with the resources where we can.
Mr. Prime Minister, suppose I tell you that's the same child they reached out to me about.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So I get your point. And that is the same child. We have helped. We brought in the doctor to help that child, and we are available and ready to move further when the doctors are ready to move further.
So you understand now why when I said to you, it's very important that your politicians or your leaders come to the public and
Yes.
let them know what you all are doing, because when you're hearing all of these things in the social media and in the communities, they make it sound like you're not helping out, you're not doing anything.
Oh.
But like I said, you are someone that is accessible, and when I send you messages, I know you respond. You might be busy. I don't expect you to be on this program every week, but at your convenience, I would like you to come and at least update the people. Because Mr. Prime Minister, the first time you came on this program after you were the Prime Minister, I remember you saying that you're working on a big project with the housing boom and what's going to happen, and you assured me that the local tradesmen and contractors will do the work.
Very
early o'clock. You came on this program and you said it. And when you was in London for the coronation, all hell break loose about this Trinidad thing and whatever. I did not even know my mother is still alive, the amount of cussing I get, because I said the Prime Minister spoke about this before. So what is the big thing? Long time ago.
Yes, yes. And I told the people that, and I spoke about it long time ago, because almost as if I could have predicted what the naysayers would say. And I've said that there would be no contract signed with anybody unless it is guaranteed that our people will be first in line to do the work. How can we have major projects in Sinkis and our people not doing the work? I cannot accept that. I will never accept that. And I said that very early and established that as a principle of this government. So, you know, the talk has died down significantly. And I think it did because what they were saying was not holding water. And basically with that contract with the housing, we have a lot of safeguards in it. For example, if the houses are built and we don't feel comfortable, that's an exit clause, for example. But just to let people know, we have other ways, you know, NHC continues to build. Right now, NHC has houses under construction. So this is not the all of what we are doing. We have different ways of helping different people with different type of housing needs and so forth. So I would say that definitely that, you know, we are moving along, and our principle is the jobs will be held by our people. And that has been said from day one. And I'm happy that you remember it, DJ. I'm very happy you remember it, because I established that very, very early. So those who came after and said anything else, they came in the last shower way and really to cause mischief. There are some who might have misunderstood or needed more information. Those are the genuine ones. But there were the malicious people out there who were hell-bent and spreading rumors and lies and to create chaos, so to speak.
Well, not only present chaos, because Mr. Prime Minister, I do not know if you want to do it, but I'm going to ask you the question, because I just sent you something there. I did not know that myself, Timothy Harris, and Janice Daniel is holding you hostage. Am I holding you hostage over something, sir?
I don't know what they mean about holding. I don't know what they mean about holding hostage. I'm not going to get into that.
I would like to know if I'm holding you hostage. Tell me what the hostage is, you know, because from what I know, prior to the campaign of 2022, Timothy and I have not gotten along, because I let him know what he's doing is wrong during the COVID situation in 2020. It's because of him this program is here. And I have not spoken to him since. I do not know why someone will take the time out to put a picture of Timothy and I with Janice Daniel Hodge with you. I don't have any plans to run for elections. I think I told him already last year during the campaign that I think I have a very good team in the Labour team that I support that will do what they need to do. I would hope that these things that are coming to the forefront, that you guys in the Labour cabinet, the Labour administration, don't take it lightly and listens to when the community are speaking, or these programs such as this one, EK and the other guys that are bringing these issues that they heard. I hope you guys are paying attention and don't take it as, don't listen to them. Because at the end of the day, elections is around the corner again. These are the same people you're going to come back to.
Right. And that is why I continue to communicate. I continue to remain accessible. I mean, it's much more challenging now because, of course, greater responsibilities and so forth. For example, today I have a constituency day. My constituency day is Wednesday. We're just going to constituency, visit people, hang around the constituency, you know, do the things of connecting with the people as such. So I had to really dedicate a day to that. So today I was in the Keys, Keyon area, last week in the St. Peter's, Connery area. Next week it'll be Keys, St. Peter's, Connery, then Keys, Keyon, and so forth. So I am, you know, making sure that as the government settles more and more, that we are staying connected with our people. And I've started that series called, you know, Connecting with Your People. And I will connect with the people through shows like these, on the highways, the byways, talking at their doorstep, their house, you know, at functions, you know, wherever the people are, that is where I want to be. And that is where my colleagues want to be as well. So I agree with you. You know, you have to stay in touch with the people. to hear what is taking place and to respond positively to the people always.
And once you do that, Mr. Prime Minister, coupled with the works that's been done thus far, you guys will be okay, no matter what the naysayers say, you guys gonna be okay.
Yes.
You know how I love my songs just as you love your songs, and I'm going to drop a track in a bit and give you a chance to get your marbles together and do your final closing, because I don't want to hold you up too long. I know you have another engagement.
Yes.
And I really appreciate you taking the time out to come and join me and let the people know that you're still with us.
Yes.
And I know the folks are wishing you well, for whatever the case might be, where some of these pundits see it fit that they need to try and do some division. I can say from my end that I know that you guys are accessible, and as long as when I reach out, I get a response, I don't need to be fighting in the public about anything. So whoever out there created the mess, God be with them.
Yes.
Jalil, so take this track from us, the online viewership. We appreciate you taking the time out, and you can come back following this song and do your wrap up and whatever you have to do, Mr. Prime Minister. Stand by.
Sure.
Yeah, Mr. Prime Minister, the truth is an offense, but not a sin. And these are the songs that keep me going when you have those fake people out there trying to create all kind of havoc, yeah?
Right. So no, I see these all the time, but I will wrap up by saying that since you spoke so much about the Nevis relationship, that we are working towards a committee for constitutional review. We are also making sure that we have a strong relationship between the federal government and the Nevis Island administration, so that we can do things together to benefit both islands. As you know, I'm an anti-secessionist. I don't think that for me personally, and I speak for me personally, that secession is even a question in my mind. The smallest country in the Western Hemisphere will become the laughing stock of the world if we were to even think about going down that road. We have difficulties because we don't have the resources and so forth. Can you imagine if we get even smaller? And so, as I telling you, we're planning another official visit to Nevis, and I look forward to the interaction with the people of Nevis. I want to say to the people of Nevis that whatever benefit the people of St. Kitts from the federal government's end should also benefit you. And that is important in education, whatever it is, where we can extend, that type of hand of good cooperation. I think that would benefit all of our people. I want to see the people of St. Kitts and Nevis do well. We are, we are fundamentally descendants of slaves who have inherited this land, and we have to do our best working together to make sure we create the best life for each of us. And that is where we are headed. The St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party administration has done tremendous work, even though we met an economy in deficit, banks in difficult position, the economic country under restriction, unnecessary restriction, the lowest growth in tourism and so forth. And that has set back some of the things we wanted to put in place. Nonetheless, we have stabilized things to make sure that the economy continues to grow, and we will continue to work to build out the economy and to arrive at a sustainable island state. A sustainable island state is where we see the most viable way of self-preservation as we face the climate challenge and other international threats and so forth, whether it be economic and other means. But we are saying that we have the capacity to do it, or people can do it. We have the wherewithal to do it. And so I'm asking all of our people, those in the diaspora, those who live in St. Kitts and Nevis, let us all contribute to creating a sustainable island state, a country that is self-sustaining, that is climate resilient, that provides energy and water, education, healthcare, food security, and so forth for our people. We can do it. Let us not look to others to do what we can do for ourselves. That, I think, is what our forefathers left for us in the will when we struggle to make sure that we enjoy the freedoms that we can enjoy today. And so I want to thank you. Look forward to June. We'll have some big announcements, a big announcement tomorrow on the student loan matter. Thousands of students will be affected. We have a big announcement on immigration. I cannot say anything further than that. It will be a solid, positive move in the right direction. We're looking at our opportunity to travel internationally. It is a first step, and people will see that as a positive first step towards something bigger. We have the announcement to make with regional travel, with international travel. There's an announcement to be made. I can't say anything further than that. We have an announcement, of course, the payout of the gratuity payment for the GAE workers. The GAE workers under the last administration there, gratuity was cut significantly by that administration. We are going to restore it because these are the lowest paid people in the government, and these persons were robbed, in my opinion, by bad policy of their gratuity, and we are giving them their gratuity. So we are giving them their balance, which is a significant amount of money. Some persons will get up to $25,000, $18,000, $12,000, $16,000 extra, and all the GAE workers from then on will get their rightful money. I will be given the opportunity to lead the OECS, and we have the OECS heads of government meeting here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We'll be talking about a number of things. The ILO have asked me to come to Geneva to speak about social justice because I have been championing that, and they have asked me to come and speak to give an address in Geneva with respect to that. And so I'm really looking at it as a good opportunity for us to put our name on things as we establish the good name of St. Kitts and Nevis. So I would say, all in all, I'm very proud of the cabinet that I'm working with. I want to thank each of them for their hard work and dedication. But most of all, I want to thank the people of St. Kitts and Nevis who have, of course, bestowed their confidence in us to lead the government. And thank God for the strength and health really to carry out this most challenging task of leading a country. And so with that, I can't do it alone. It has to be done with others and God at the helm. I would like to say to our people, finally, thank you for your time. You could have been doing something else and be somewhere else. God bless you, of course. Thank you, DJ, for the opportunity once again to interact with our people. Good night.
Yeah, Honorable Prime Minister. And at your convenience, you can go and check the thread. The folks online are very appreciative of you taking the time out to come and join us. Before you go, though, two or three things I would like to bring to your attention. I do not know how far you are working on them, but that is some of the concern online as well. There is one viewer that is saying that what they're asking the Prime Minister to do is to resolve the problem in the electoral office. You know, that was one of our big campaign stuff. So.
And we're moving on that, correct? Yes. Mm-hmm.
And also,
next interview, I'll go into detail on that one, but to let them know that we are moving on that, yes.
Okay, so that is some concerns that they have there. And,
yes.
And the situation is that we know that, as a matter of fact, someone called me from St. Paul's yesterday. And the person is saying to me, if I don't think that Prime Minister and his team is doing too much too quick, because if they continue at this pace, there will be nothing left for them to do come next election, and then they have none to campaign on. But I tell them, trust me, there's a lot more work to be done. We just that people, for whatever reason, they react, they're emotional, instead of just pay attention to what is going on. I mean, anyone that really had paid attention to what we dealt with in the last 7 years would know. Prime Minister, I was told by the former Hag and even one of the candidates for PAM, Brother Milo Box, stay out. In 2020, they tell me stay out. Who else stay out? They didn't want us there. And I am happy that you and your cabinet made the decision to open the borders fully and we can come home, because we were treated like outsiders. So your approach of welcoming everyone and encouraging everyone to come and support, I really appreciate that kind of presentation from you, because it was like a war zone over the last 7 years. Everything was war, everything is a cussing, everything is a fight. So I appreciate you, and the folks and then, like I said, they appreciate you. So I look forward at your convenience. And I don't want to tell you come back next week, but as soon as you get some time, I know there's a lot of stuff you spoke to me about that you need to report, but you got to wait for things to happen. You cannot jump ahead and make announcement before these things are announced properly. So I appreciate you taking the time out and coming. And guess what? Don't let them ambush you in the night, partner.
No.
That's my advice to you. Don't let them ambush you. So on your way out, I'm going to have to drop that song for you. Do not let them ambush you in the night, Mr. Prime Minister. Have a good evening and say hi to your ministers of cabinet and stay safe.
Right, stay safe as well. Okay, guess what?
See them fighting for power, but they know not the hour. So they bribing with their guns, spare parts, and money, trying to belittle our integrity now.
Yes, Brother Bob, they tried to ambush people in the night, you know. Now that the Prime Minister has taken his leave, I think I can come now and be the DJ, one of the DJ. I hear there's all kind of thing going on social media. I hear they're attacking some DJs out there. I do not know if I'm the DJ. I understand there is all kind of cartoon pictures and things they're putting up. Say the DJ is teaming up against Dr. Joe and all this nonsense. Now, folks, as you just heard, Dr. Joe spoke. Whenever I reach out to the Prime Minister responds appropriately. I have no issue with the Prime Minister or his cabinet, whatever they're doing. I campaign on their behalf. They was the beneficiary of the work I did on this program. And I think, like anyone else, I have a right to ask a question. And I think if I reach out to them, whichever ministers that do something, say something out of the way, and I reach out to them and they don't respond, I think I have a right to speak about it. They either speak to me privately or publicly. It's as simple as that. I am not here to disrespect anyone. So for those of you out there who might not like the idea that I call the Premier Baby Brantley, you must go back and listen to his broadcast on the mark. When he calling people buffoon and all kind of nonsense name he called me. I did not start the war, you know. He started calling me names. He starts broadcasting from a attic in America in a garage. The bottom line is, wherever I'm broadcasting from, I'm doing a great job according to the general public. And I'm doing a clean broadcast. I want to thank my engineer, Ike, because without Brother Ike, I would not be able to come to you guys weekly and bring the information that I bring. I also want to thank Brother Kent, Lord Kent and his wife, dear Debbie, for their support, because without them, I would not meet Brother Ike either. Got another guy just joined the team, they're a very good technician. The man Elvin Ellie, I appreciate him, you know. I mean, Ivor tried to give me overtime every week, and I'm going to walk my way back to the 2-hour show that I started. This overtime business, Ivor, is not going to work. Like I said last week, guys like the man Eustace Hendrickson and those guys, I appreciate them. I appreciate you online viewers for your continued support. You got some people out there, all of a sudden they find tongue to talk and teeth getting along. Because under the previous administration, they couldn't talk. All of a sudden they can talk. So whoever this cockbutt guy out there, whoever this cockbutt boy out there, or cockbutt girl, whoever out there want to discredit the DJs, whether it's DJ Marisha or the DJs in general, tell cockbutt that DJ said, he neither play with cock, nor butt. I see how that one they work. The cockbutt one that lives in Florida, that will live in New York, if it's he out there doing nonsense, tell him that the DJ said he run into an accident and he rear. That's why he walk cock up like that. Me no cock up, no man. Tell him me no cock up, man. As a matter of fact, at my age, I just enjoy my life like it is now. I'm quite fine. I look forward to go down to Nevis and hang with Carbo, get some boat water. That's my new hobby. Going by Carbo, eat some fish and banana and a little goat water. Me not cock up nobody. So you like to get things back there? Go look for the barber them and them other boys that play them game. The DJ don't play them kind of games there. Right? DJ don't deal with cock now, but don't sword fight. Don't want no shit packs. Me not into them thing there. Right? So if you want, as a matter of fact, you know, I'm warning you all tonight. I'm giving you all a final warning in. Because if they keep troubling this DJ, they're gonna put me in Facebook jail. Because I'm in a ease up, you know. I am capable of responding to any one of them appropriately. I am quite capable and I will meet them at any level. So I am asking you guys, please go on YouTube, log on to DJ Mauritia and subscribe and hit that bell so that you could know when Facebook locked me down, you could still see me during the week. You will be notified, right? So I am asking you guys, I know a lot of you go to YouTube and watch my stuff, but a lot of you have not subscribed. So please go to YouTube, check my DJ Mauritia channel, subscribe and hit that bell. Because if this cockbutt boy or this cockbutt girl challenge me and test me, we're gonna come off a baby Brantley for a while, you know. I right up in the backside, I go, you know. Me not afraid none of them, you know. This DJ not afraid none of them. You understand? When the farmer hog was there destroying the country, a lot of them behind the scene, hiding behind the tablet and behind the phone. They cannot come publicly and do nothing. The DJ did what he had to do. The DJ went down to the mission. Even some of them that come down to the mission, they come down there reluctantly, you know. They not come down there because they love the DJ. They come down there because they want to see Labour get back into office. As a matter of fact, one of them tell me, they're supporting me now. But if Labour starts screwing up, don't call them because they're not coming against the Labour. I got a problem with that. I respect that, right? But if it was wrong in the last 7 years and it's taking place today, it's still wrong. It's been 9 months since the Labour administration took office, and they have done a great job in 9 months. And I will give them credit for that. And when I said to the PM, beware of the people around you. The people that hugging you up and loving you up now, they wasn't always hugging up and loving you up. A lot of them cuss you, so you can't even win your seat. How you want to be leader of Labour. But all of a sudden they love you. They can't come to me, you know, because they know what they said to me. So they can't come talk to me because I don't put them in a category where they need to be. Them, they're weevil. I do not know if you all have experienced weevil. Back in the days, you put down a pound of rice in the house. Next time you come back, you can't eat it because it's full of weevil. That's what them they be. You understand? Check all yourself. Check all yourself. When are you going to come after the DJs, whether it's me you mean or not? The people them say it's me or you mean. So if it's me or you mean, I tell you you. Me not go up in a behind. Me not play with butt. Me not play with cock. So cock butt, you go continue giving who you're giving it to. They don't mash up your rear. You see how you walk. That is why a lot of you have problem in your house, you know. Because when you go home at night, when you don't do anything out there, you forget how you leave a wife home and how you want what the wife wants. And then the wife cannot get what she wants and now you got war. Me not got them problem there. Me not got them problem there. Me love my own company very much. The bed is soft, the bed is big, and it's comfortable. Me not got no problem lying down in my bed. My TV big. And my baby girl, she keep me company. As long as my baby girl is fine, you know it is. Gwyneth know how we go. As long as Gwyneth is healthy, I good. As long as baby is healthy, I good. As long as my family and friends are healthy, it's good. My online viewers, I want you all to be happy and to be good. Don't ignore the noise. Continue. They're hiding behind fake pages and chatting all kind of nonsense. But let them continue because I'm going to expose them. Me not ready yet, you know. Me not ready yet. I'm giving them time because I know who they be. All who are going to say and act like they're not say. Like when foul eat shit and I wipe them out, I know who they be. Tell them the DJ says so. DJ now go around the bush and no corner. I will come eventually. Maybe they forget what happened to me and my boy there, you know. My boy believe he could have sing song and do what he please because people run from his singing song, you know. Me not got to sing no song, you know. I could talk a whole album. Me could talk a whole album, but I don't play with bomb. I don't play with shit packs. If you don't believe me, ask question. You understand? Go ask question. Go St. Paul's and ask them who Clemmy Bainey was and who Joe Bainey was. Then now you're going to know what kind of problem you put yourself into. I cut cane with cutlass, machete, and bill. I know me tools them. I know how to use them. Me not play with behind. Me not even go jam in Juve because man a push back on you in a Juve. When you think a woman a push back on you, a man a push back. Me not go Juve. Me not want no mistake. I don't make them mistake there. So all of you out there who feel like, well, you want a piece of the DJ? No, you don't fit the criteria. You have to fit the criteria. So you can cock up your butt pan me. You cannot cock up in front of me, you cock up in front of the barber them. Them they into them thing. This DJ they into them thing. Are you hear me? And I know I'm gonna get a call from my sister telling me, Lord, leave it alone. And I'm gonna get a call from my cousin in St. Thomas, Lord, leave it alone. No. There are some things that you cannot leave alone. You got to let them know we go. Enough is enough. All weekend, I listened to all of the messages coming in, and I just look at it and I smile to myself because I say, you know what? I'm going to leave it. I said, you know, I have my good Prime Minister coming on the program. I cannot go on bad because I don't want to go mix up our good Prime Minister and these things. But the PM don't do hitting any gun. So this is my time now. You know. Me not drop soap. Me not pick up soap. Me not bend over and bend down on them thing there, right? Me don't even know how to deal with slingshot. You jump up and I jump down pan things and I carry on. Me not in them thing there with you. Me not go up in them kind of life there. My grandfather did not bring me up like that. I sleep in a bed with one man in my life. And that was my grandfather. Sleep with him until I was about 15, 16 before leave and went to the Virgin Islands. Never touched me yet. Never make no stupid move. Are you today a grown man and you want to come touch man and hug up man and because man not pay no attention, you want to go cuss. Don't be jealous of the DJ what the DJ is doing. The DJ is not getting nothing out of the deal. The DJ is just here sensitizing the people. The farmer had created this format, not the DJ. The farmer had locked me down in quarantine for 14 days. And I had to find something to do to keep myself occupied. And guess what? When I started keeping myself occupied, they tried to block me. So I had to find my engineer. My engineer came and he do hitting. And following all of that, you know, is you the online viewers, I could have gone and relax long time, you know. I could have gone and relax long time. Is you the online viewership? Ask me please to continue with the program. You all appreciate it. So if they got a problem with you, if they got a problem with you, they're going to come after you. The viewership is you ask me to continue this thing. And I decided, okay, I will continue to bring the information to the people. And all of a sudden, I could understand the PAM people cussing because I'm not talking in their favor. I could understand the PLP people cussing because I'm not talking in their favor. But who give you Labour people the right to come attack this DJ? This DJ, when I had to come down to St. Kitts and walk in the street about stay by myself because I had to afraid to walk in the street. And even on my second round, when I tried to get you out, are you still afraid to walk? Are you afraid to hug? All of a sudden now you got time to come attack the DJ? Because I see some progress? Or King Aston tell them for me there. Just tell them something, King Aston.
day. When I look around in the world, what do I see? I see footprints that man have left on the sand while walking through times. I see fruits of our ambitions, figments of our imaginations, and I ask myself, when will it end? When will it end? It is plain to see, universally this land is not bountiful as it was, simply because in his quest for success, nothing stands in man's way. All rivers run dry, soon the birds will fly, the mountains will be no longer high. And when I really think of it, I just wonder why, oh why. I see charity deplored, equal rights totally ignored, wisdom and ingenuity working in accord, simply to afford such inventions as thermonuclear warfare and environmental warfare. And I wonder now, where do we go from here? Prophets everywhere gaze upon the horizon and declare that judgment will come as the savage hands of unscrupulous men defile everything passed by. Time is running out as we eat and drink, species at the brink of being extinct. And I think no one can deny that the price of progress is high, real high. I see consciousness as great as today we live recklessly. Money make egos inflate and thereby create a turbulent state. I see a struggle between the sexes, new hang-ups and old complexes. Now the question is, right in context, what shall be next? I've already seen this world have come divided between race, color, creed, and class. And some of the things the scripture predict truthfully come to pass. Soil that wouldn't bear children, making children to be a part of this growing mass. And I ask, if this is progress, how long will it last?
Yes, man. I just want to know if this is progress. If this is the thanks your labor rights want to give the DJ for all the hard work the DJ put out there to help put a labor government in office and get rid of them. Papi should have was there. This is the thanks all you come giving because you all figure you're in there now. You know. This ain't no time to laugh and play around, you know. The DJ not skin teeth with an eye, you know. We ain't in a bombastic business, you know. No kind of cock and no butt I come my way. Or you keep that over there, you know. Got a basic good night to me boy, the brother Thaddeus Depot, so how you doing? How is the folks in Florida? My cousin there, the man Everson Harris. Everything good with you? I just want to say hi to me boy there, Mr. Jeff Pemberton one more time. My cousin there, Jerry England, how you doing? How is Sister Jennifer, Sylvia, how is the man Jermaine doing? Cousin Clive, how are you doing? How is the wife? Hope all is well with you all. You know, I'm getting ready to bring it down, you know, but you know, I had to just step it up a bit and make the folks understand out there, you know, that DJ Marish and our jester, you know, me ain't not playing around with them, you know. Ain't no ping business, no PR business, you know. When you go down a little pan, go take a shower, you cannot Go down, they got to talk about nobody will come jump up on you down there. Them little boy in St. Paul's will stone you. Want to big up Sister Lioness Charles, how you doing? Hope all is well with you, my sister. When you're sorry for them out there, you know, the dirtiness, a bunch of them. What you say? No matter what you all do, you know, you all on a mission to derail the DJ from doing the right thing for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And as the Prime Minister says, who all want to talk secession is up to them, because the DJ not in that. The DJ is into unifying the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. The DJ is into ensuring that before this Labour administration end the second year in office, that electoral system in St. Kitts and Nevis must be addressed. That is the DJ mission, you know. All who want to post pics and want to give me popularity on social media. You know, the funny thing about it is, what you Labour people should have done, if nothing else, what you all Labour supporters should have done, if nothing else. You see, there is at the top of the screen, there is some information to make a donation on this to this program to keep it going via Zelle, via Cash App, via Venmo, via various platforms. You can make a contribution. That's what you all should be doing, because the engineer them have to get paid now. The internet have to be paid. You know, instead of you all making a contribution to the upliftment of this program, the DJ said something that you all don't like. Well, tell all your ministers of government then, if they don't want to hear the DJ playing the clips that they talk at the press conference, them however they're talking, show respect to the citizens. Stop disrespecting the citizens. If they talk nice things, they're going to play nice things. If they disrespect the citizens, they're going to play them. So it's their choice. They was elected into office to do a job. If they know they don't want nobody to ask them a question, then they should not be in public office. That is why they went there. When the patch-up fella were cussing everybody, we campaign against it. When Baby Brantley were cussing me and everybody else, we complain about it. When the farmer had were cussing in Parliament, he cussed off our now Governor General. Back then she was Marcella Liebert. Cussing she teeth and whatever. Nobody said nothing. I am calling Baby Brantley because that's what he is. He's a baby at all level. He is a baby at all level, and I'm gonna bring down some babe for him when I come in down next month. He's a baby at all level, and he's a nasty, dirty boy. He's the one started calling me names. I didn't start calling him names. So if you're gonna start calling me names, then you need to stop. And then I would stop. I have no problem with the baby. I love the guy as an individual, but he got to stop lying to the people of St. Kitts Nevis. He got to stop disrespecting the people, and then I would not call him them names. You understand? How are you gonna go put the farmer Hag and me together? To say me and the farmer Hag in collusion. I haven't spoken to the Hag. The last time I spoke to the Hag, I think it was back in 2020. That's the last time I communicated with the Hag. Since then, the Hag and I have not communicated. This is now 2023. And I don't think the Hag want to see me. Because I'm sure the Hag have a problem with me campaigning against him so hard. Remember the Hag said he had the O, you know. But he don't realize that my last name got in 2 R's. So the O is in front of the R, you know, and between the M. So I had him lock, and he gone. So I am not going to get into any personal name calling tonight. I'm going to drop a track, and I'm going to call it a night. But I'm sending a stern warning to all you. Whoever are you may be on all your fake pages, doing all your thing. Enjoy all yourself. Because when this DJ start punching, he punched very high above his weight. Me not afraid of now, you know. Another thing you could tell me about my life, my past, or my present that I need to worry about. Not a thing you could tell me. What I know is that I have taken an oath to come and represent the people. I am in observation mode. I assist in the changing of the farm administration. I assist in the installation of this new administration, and this administration must do better than the last. So far, they have done well. And I think they will continue to do a lot more. As you heard the Prime Minister there said, there's big things to announce. So when they come with good things, I'm going to report good things. If I see them fall along the way, which is natural, I'll bring the attention to it. But that doesn't mean I hate them. That doesn't mean I'm fighting against them. You guys know I support the Honorable Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge and the NRP. That was no secret. I announced that since last year publicly. I had no problem with Baby Brantley up to 2020. Is when he started lying to me and misleading me, I decided to question him publicly. I was looking at Baby Brantley as the next Prime Minister, as a matter of fact. Under the Team Unity administration, the Baby Brantley did a lovely presentation at the UN. I congratulate him for his presentation. When things are good with the baby, I give him credit. But all of these lies, they're going to backfire on them. All of these lies that they're telling, the time will come, you're going to backfire on them. They act like they don't know what's going on. You cannot keep bullshitting people because I got my notes. I'm keeping my records. Every press conference they have, I am keeping my notes and I will use them accordingly. When they say things, they must live up to what they tell the people. Stop lying to the people. That's why you get pepper. And then people who like to cock up in corner and cock up in a car and cock up wherever, tell cock but keep he cock on the butt to himself. He and the bar with them is one, they got one beer. Do not bring it by digital. And you know something, you know, me not sorry for them because Star Shield don't tell me. And they gonna want me again. I want to say good night to my boy, the man Twinkie, how we doing? The man Sugars, everything good with you? My Nevis Massive and the man Orwell Jeffers, how are you doing, brother? It was nice seeing you earlier, man. How is brother Wilson? Hope all is well. I want to big up my boy there. Astro, boy, I hope you're doing good. I understand you're getting ready for culture. I hope you're singing a lovely song about the blow machine because the blow machine needs some repair. Under the hood, something is not firing there. The spark plug and I need to change or something. But missing like crazy, man. I don't know if rat bite the wire, the cable or whatever, but the blow machine ain't firing at all on all cylinders. It look like only one cylinder working. It look like only Miss Nisbet working. The rest of them, I hear me boy there. What his name is there? The pushback one, they pushing back as well. So they got a pushback club. The man Star Shield.
Situation of justice in our lands. Well, just conviction should be awarded to every man, can't we understand? That punishment or death to a criminal can't be in vain. For if he's jailed for life or they hang him, he would never disturb next man again. Listen to my song. The position, why should you do wrong? There's no man who could ever be wrong and strong. So if a man commits murder, don't sit there and cry, you just if they create more trouble, they would meet their fate. For all people say that when you're sorry for old hog, what would it do but turn around and root down your head? This advice I took from a story which I heard about a man named Bruno. In the whole of his life, he wounded and murdered more than 300 people. But the judge was so biased because it was his best friend that he sent him to jail to penalty of the island so that he could not be condemned. What a big mistake. Bruno escaped and swam back to shore. His main intention was to kill one more. So he caught the judge that sent him to jail and kill his tail. But why should I hang Bruno high, real high, in order to protect other people and prevent further trouble? But judge found out late, real late, that he was sorry for that old hog. So what he do? He turned around and rode down his gate. A man is caught exploiting the revenue of any island. No police should just want him and set him free because of a high position. No, he should be treated the way they would treat any other man. For the law of constitution was made to govern each and every man that lives on this land, even policeman. The police are here to see we do right. This is no time to sit down and no time to take it light. So if a man violates the law, send him by any friend to get his ear shaven. Tell them policemen, even if Daniel is the best friend, to let him remain in the lion's den, let him meet the fate. Don't wait. But when they're sorry for that old hog, what would he do? He'll turn around and go down the gate. Well, the hearts of man is so desperately wicked, and you know it's true. So you can't afford to let sheer sympathy and goodwill just overcome you. Though if a man violates the law, no matter who he may be, he could be pastor, turner, laborer, commissioner, opinion, could even be me. You understand me? Take down the man and clean up the head. The same way the jailmen are fed. Otherwise he'll have time to gather more tricks inside his head. Now you clearly know you must go and tell Judge Glasgow. When he catch them, don't let them go. Let them meet their fate. Don't wait. But when he's sorry for them old hogs, what would they do? They'll turn around and root down he gets. Justice should be awarded to every man, whether black, white, rich, or poor.
Yes, the sound of the man Star Sheila. Justice on the old hog. Boy, they got some serious hog out there rooting up St. Kitts Nevis. And you can't talk about it because they want to get upset with you. Who do they think they be? Folks, in the Vision for Nevis, NFN, they will be having their annual breakfast on Saturday, the 17th of June, 2023 at the St. Andrew's Church over there at 781 Castle Hill Avenue, Bronx, New York, starting at 8 a.m. They have some very lovely food there. Don't forget to check them out. That's the NFN for Nevis. The Visions for Nevis. They normally have a lovely breakfast. Sorry that we won't be here. My team will be heading down to the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, June 17th to the 1st of July to play a series of cricket and domino games. Will be hosted by the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Sports Club alongside the St. Kitts Cricket Association. We will be over there in Dieppe on the 17th at the fishing tournament. That will be our first stop. Our second stop will be over there at Carbo's. And the 18th, starting at midday, we'll be treated to a lovely Father's Day event there. Compliments of the NRP, the Carbo, and the crew. We want to thank everyone who will be helping us out and taking care of us over on that end. We look forward to our visit to Nevis in his music festival, who will be doing the music and their stuff. I'll be coming to you with the full schedule of activities in the next broadcast. For this evening, I'm already running over an hour late for this program, which should have been finished at 8 p.m. I see my boy Ivor have me doing an hour and 17 minutes thus far. So I'm not going to jump much further into that. Don't forget also that DJ Mauritius Sports Club's bus ride will be on the 29th of July. A few tickets still leave there to Foxwoods. Bus ride, casino and shopping, departing here from the Gaza at, well, we serve breakfast at 7 in the morning, and we depart around 8:30. We board at 8:30, depart around 9, and head across here to Foxwoods. So for you folks who might be interested, I know you all normally wait until last minute, and then you complain like you want me to create seats. This is the time for you to lock in your tickets. There's a few that leave. Feel free to reach out to me, book your tickets, and that will be our next big thing, is following our trip to St. Kitts Nevis. We'll be heading across to Foxwood. Let me say a quick good night to some folks here before I cut out, because I know these numbers these numbers gone so high that I cannot really get to say hello to everybody this evening. So I'm sorry if I didn't get to call some of you guys' names, but I want to big up Loretta Wharton. Hope all is well with you. Edison Hosier, Kevin Chapman, well, Evan Ellie having fun tonight. Petrola Ballot, how are you doing? How is St. Martin, my boy Curtis Cook? Hope all is well with you. Annette Morton, good evening. I hope all is well with you. Paul Francis, how is things in St. Martin? Hope all is well. Well, you know how it is here on my end. I want to big up my boy Eustace Hendrickson one more time. Sister Cheryl Bryan, my uncle there, Eustace Hendrickson, Eustace Bonnier in St. Croix, and my brother there, Jean Paris, Sister Chubby Paris, how are you guys doing? The man Brown, mechanic, the man Ivan, how about the man Ingler, how about the Barry Hutchinson and crew, the man Theo Clark. Hope all is well with you and Mary and the crew. Sister Joy Clark and the crew there in the St. Paul's area. The big man Shabby, everything bang on. How about the man Sassio? Hope everything good with you. The man Ben Taylor there in St. Croix, hope all is good with you as well. Iona Mason, hope all is well with you. Sister General Tracy Mason, hope all is well with you. My boy there, Ras, the big chef there in Passing Ground, look forward to coming and get some of that cook up, bullfoot and goat water when I get into the area there. All I want to big up my girl there, Sister Ailo, over there in Lovers Lane Tower. Look forward to come and checking you guys out. How about the man Mean Green? Haven't spoke to you in a bit. Hope all is well. King Freddy. The man Lord Kent again. How about my boy there? The man Bingo Bob, hope all is well. The man Kibo. The man KO. The man Carl Archibald. The man Benders, hope all is well with you guys. Also, brother Wayne Ogaro. Blessings to you, my brother. Thanks for your usual support and everything. Don't forget, folks, it's holiday weekend, music festival coming. If you're looking for your clothing, the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, don't forget to check out Sister Gloria Hutchinson there at Smart Fit. There's a location there on Keon Street across from the gas station, right off 4th Street. There's still a DJ Mauritius sent you. Also, Their main location, it's at Central Street in the old Simaco building there, right next to Skelet. Check it out and let her know that you heard it on DJ Marisha. Also, but Sister Laura Williams, she also has a place there in the TDC Mall. Check out Sister Laura for your clothing and your earrings and your nice dandad. Want to big up my boy, brother Aston Williams. The man damns about Officer Hendricks and Officer Francis. Sister Leah, Sister Cheverton, Donnelly Cheverton, I hope all is well with you. Sister Morton, Kishma, I hope all is well with you as well. I understand there's a birthday celebration to Bertram Roach, 100 years. Well, I would love to speak to that person who made 100 years in the Federation. I guess they've seen some things happening there in the Federation. You know, earlier I thought about what is happening in our beloved Federation. You know, these criminal activities and these kids fighting in schools and these things. They're taking some lessons from these politicians, you know, and some of you adults who don't have any respect for each other. You know, we got to learn to respect each other's opinion. Everybody sees things from a different angle. For the hell of me, I don't understand why I'm speaking to sensible people and they've tried so hard to defend their wrong. If the sky is blue, no matter how you cuss and say it, whether it's gray, it's blue. We need to call things as they are and stop trying. That is where the fight comes in. People trying to change the narrative. I don't have time for the political atmosphere in St. Kitts at the moment. I am just in observation mode. And when that time comes, we need to get involved and send the message. Trust me, the message will be sent loud and clear because I'm going to call a spade right down the middle. But I'm focusing right now on what's taking place in our sister island of Queen City, Nevis. Baby Brantley is sending some very strange messages to the people. I don't understand what's going on with these journalists. Baby Brantley said at his last broadcast there on the mark that the Alexandra Hospital project is on pause. And he hoped to have some information by his next press conference about what's taking place. Well, he had the press conference and he chose not to say nothing about the hospital and what's taking place. And these journalists stay in the room, not one of them asks a question about it. It better if these journalists don't go to these press conferences, because if you're going to go there, I'm free to ask questions. Or you don't know what questions to ask. Then it really doesn't make sense. You know? I cannot be all the way over here, thousands of miles away. And I'm seeing questions that can be asked. And you guys right there on the ground. And you all cannot see questions to ask. I want to big up my boys there, my boy there, Brother Carlisle Powell, the man Kelvin Daly, and Tulu. I look forward to hearing what they have to say tomorrow about this geothermal. I wonder if they're still on the job, because a lot of things happening in St. Kitts, Nevis. And I've been hearing lately they're talking about who got a good stand now, who could stand now, who need Viagra. I do not know if that's where them guys' mind is at right now, you know. But my focus is on Baby Brantley and the hospital wing project and the airport and this kind of stuff. And I want them back on track with the things that are happening in the Federation. Yes, men health and people health is important, but let's focus on the mission. The mission is that we need to stay focused on the opposition office and the things that the premier, that Baby Brantley is doing and not doing there and Nevis. Let's stay focused on the real things. So we're gonna drop this one, the unofficial national anthem of St. Kitts Nevis. This one is called Arise. And the music is featuring, but listen to the lyrics. I want you to pay attention to the lyrics. I want to big up my boy there, the man Joseph Emmanuel Day at Garvey's Estate. Uncle Joseph, I hope all is well with you. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Don't forget you can check Uncle Joseph for your party affairs, your weddings, etc. And if you're looking someplace to stay, make sure you check with Uncle Joseph. Also check out my boy there, Michael Clark, over there at the Jamrock restaurant in Frigate Bay. Lovely place to have a dinner. Check out my boy Marshall's up the hill as well. And I understand the Spratnet is back on the scene. I look forward to visit the Spratnet and my boy there, brother Duncan Big Lives Watley at the Green Valley Pub. Look forward to checking them out. But more so, I have to see my boy Carbo. Looking forward to my goat water and my fish and my local mango and stuff there. I want to big up my girl, this is the Deli Pasu. How are you doing? How is the grandbaby? How is Anne? Good night to Anne and crew. Well, like they say in the old days, you know, every good thing must come to an end. And tonight, I must say, if I offend any of you online viewership with my rant and rave, my apologies to you. But there are some people that have to be put on notice when they start the nonsense, because they got to understand, you know, nothing go unpunished. Eh? Nothing go unpunished. So if some of them pack up fellas out, they want to put them out on me, that ain't gonna happen. Me ain't into them thing there. Right? So stand by for the late great King Aaron. This one is called Arise. And I'll continue to rise to the heights that you, the online viewership, is expected of me. But I'll meet them in the trenches wherever they go. If
your country dying and never lend a helping hand. Would you see your children's future dwindling, creating much disillusion? Or would we watch on idly, disregarding our self-sufficiency? unification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Can your conscience be clear? Indulging corruption or misusing public office, being accused of unemployment and crimes, or disrupting a citizen's peace. Oh, my country in this harmony, separated politically. Hatred for a brother cannot love each other. No, I say no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct our mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, the sounds of the late great man, the King Arrow. This country is yours, or yours, still yours. Thank you, Sandra Thomas. Thanks for your contribution. You know, as I said earlier, I know that it's only a matter of time before Facebook going to tell me he's gonna put me in jail for a couple of days when I finish responding to some of these pundits. So folks, don't forget to go on YouTube, check the DJ Mauritia channel, subscribe and hit that bell. Let's help me to help you, because I do not want you to miss the program. When you don't see me on Facebook, you're wondering where I'm at. That means I have to transfer because somebody touched the DJ the wrong way and the DJ have to respond appropriately. I want to say good evening to Sister Tracy Powell and those online viewers there. Look forward to seeing you guys. Same place, same time, next week, Wednesday, sorry. That will be June already. Wow. That will be June 7th. Next week, Wednesday, June 7th, we'll be right here giving you more music, more updates, talking the things. Continue to send your messages in. I appreciate your messages. At least once I send them across to the appropriate sources, we get some answers and we get some action. Again, I want to thank Prime Minister Joe for taking time out from his busy schedule to come and chat with us this evening. very informative information. And my people, trust me, I know the Prime Minister is hard at work. I know he's trying to fulfill a lot of the requests that's been given, and he got some good plans. So I will give him the time that I think it requires to deal with the Nevis end of things, because he really have some good plans for Nevis. Naturally, he got to work with the Premier, by extension, the NIA, but I know that he has good intentions for Nevis, the people of Nevis in general. For the Prime Minister, is not just about the political part of things. He genuinely feel for the people of Nevis, love the people of Nevis, just as he loved the people of St. Kitts. Him and I spoke at length, and I appreciate him picking up the phone and calling and explaining what he's doing for Nevis. Like I said, I cannot come publicly and say everything, because it defeats the purpose of what the Prime Minister is trying to do. But I'm asking your folks out there online, however this program may be heard, to understand that the Prime Minister is on the job, his team is on the job, they're hearing you loud and clear, and they are working. Until such time, folks, as we meet again, have a great evening. God blessings on everyone.